Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll talk about Sandfall and Larian and the misinformation going on with AI and game development, Naughty Dog entering intergalactic crunch, and a few other topics from last week, mainly dealing with the battle with art direction and hyper realism in it and the issues some people have with it, as well as Steam reports stating that 14% of Steam users spent their time playing new games. But before we get into all that, we'll see what everybody's been playing and jump right into it. Weeb, how are you, man, and what have you been playing?
I've seen better days. A bit of a cold, but
That was on.
thank you, thank you. So my voice is probably a bit shit right now, but yeah. Been playing. I've been playing a lot. I've started playing the Palace Principle 2, which is was on PlayStation uh, Premium, whatever. I always mix up the subscription titles. Um, Well, yeah, and what was I'm still busy with it. It's sort of like the first person puzzle game with a story. It is this it's a sequel. I haven't played the first one though. They don't give you a bit of a recap, so don't think I've missed much. It kind of feels like the plot of Portal, I guess, with the first one. But the second one is kind of it's kind of interesting. Sort of is it's sort of post-apocalyptic, as in humanity is extinct because a virus got released after we melted the polar caps, and now robots are our descendants who have sort of inherited the earth, and they're now exploring sort of a mysterious island that they've been called to, and at the same time you can also explore sort of the city and talk to NPCs and sort of apparently have to make some choices regarding the political future of the city, which is sort of they're limiting their own population to 1,000 because they don't want to make the same mistakes as humanity did. And there are sort of like people who are robots who were opposed to that and robots who were for that, sort of, and it's kind of a bit philosophical, so it's kind of interesting. And the puzzles are they're they're doable, but they do require a lot of sort of three-dimensional thinking. Like you have to work with a lot of like lasers that you have to sort of bend in certain directions to open switches, and some that you have to like use fans where you then have to put a sort of a, a box on there, and top of the box you have to put a sort of a device that can bend the lasers in the right direction. And some that you have to sort of create, sort of do it like that. It will sort of sustain itself, like it will. You have to, it's pretty hard to explain, but it is kind of interesting to play around with. That you're like solving puzzles, but I really have to like think indeed like 3D. So it's not just okay, what you see on your same plane. You also think okay, sometimes you can solve it by just putting something up higher. Um, so it's pretty interesting. I've also played a bit of Skate Story, which was I think it's pretty recent. Was also released on Premium, which is also pretty interesting. It's a skateboard game as the name suggests, but you're playing like a demon who wants to destroy the moon for some reason. Um, and you're made of glass, so you're really fragile. So you have to make sure that you do the right tricks and don't hit the edges of the playing field. And I haven't gotten very far yet, but it is also pretty interesting. Um, and um, I've I've played a few other things. I played the DLC or the update of Expedition 33. Though I still have to beat that nasty final boss that it's really annoying. Like I almost beat it, and then he just recovered all his health, and then you have to fight him all over again. So I have to kind of figure out what the right strategy is. Finished Terminator 2D No Fate, which recently came out, which is as the name says, is a 2D I guess shoot 'em up kind of game where you replay the events of the movie with some additions to the story, where you see sort of how Sarah Connor got locked up in the asylum, what she did to do that, and some scenes with John Connor in the future. Also pretty good. Like it is pretty fun how they recreate that game but then in a 2D setting. Which maybe they should do with more movies. Like could totally imagine them doing, I don't know, like Die Hard or whatever. 2D would definitely work. And I've currently I'm playing Possessors, which had a free or a trial on premium, and I liked it, so I just bought it. Which is overall like that. It's a Metroidvania. With sort of I wouldn't say roguelite, but um like similar to Hollow Knight, that you can lose sort of your souls, whatever they are. But yeah, it's a bit more forgiving because you obviously can get them back just by they usually drop before the enemy that kills you, and you can also put them in the piggy bank, so you will pretty safe with not losing anything if you really want to. Um, it is kind of challenging, especially the bosses, but it's fairly doable if you use dodging and yes, parrying. Um, yeah, it's so far pretty interesting. Like interesting art style, sort of interesting setting where suddenly demons have escaped some sort of evil corporation that was doing experiments on them and killed everybody in the city, and then you're forced to make a contract with a demon to save your life, and sort of reluctantly have to journey with that demon to find your family, hoping they survived and figure out what the hell they were doing there, literally. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Sounds good. Uh, Morgan, how are you, ma'am? And what have you been playing?
I'm good, and playing what I'm always playing right now. Octopath Traveler Zero.
As you should.
Currently, yeah, I'm currently like 76 hours into the game, and I think I'm like, well, at least according to the PlayStation thing, I'm only like 41% through the game. So that's an interesting perspective there. I'm just like, damn, I really got like another 70 plus, maybe 100 hours to go. But I'm not mad at it because I love Octopath. So um,
Thanks.
I was like literally just playing before I got in, which is why I kind of got in kind of late because it was getting to a really interesting part. Got really dark really fast. A little plot twist I really wasn't expecting, but I always like it when that happens. But
Oh, snap.
yeah, it's going pretty good so far. I'm like level 44, something like that. Um, my wish veil is pretty much done.
Yeah,
I
so you
got all
got the max
the
level
buildings and
trophy.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, so I'm just using it to like generate like farm and generate food and everything like that, and honestly just going around each city recruiting people to come live in my city and everything like that. But yeah, I really have no complaints. I'm enjoying it. Like right now, I'm just focusing on the story because I'm pretty much, at least as of right now, kind of done with the side stuff. Like I've done all the side stuff I can at this point. So I'm just kind of, like I said, focusing on the main story, and which I'm not mad at because it's really good. I was wondering where they were to go, where they were going to go after the initial villains, and I'm enjoying, the plot that has taken over thus far. So I can't complain. Um, all I can say is, if you like JRPGs, definitely play Octopath Traveler Zero. It's so good. It's so good. Um, the my character right now, like as I started off with the scholar job class, and I'm still pretty much a scholar, but I think I've unlocked like 5 of the other jobs. And I think what I like about this game the most is the way you can diversify your character, where you can, get all these other jobs and you can take the skills from those other jobs and give it to, your character at whatever job they have. So if you prefer scholar, but you like a move that the merchant or the hunter has, you can take their move and put it onto the scholar so that way you can have those moves. And right now that's kind of what I'm focusing on, like getting like a bunch of JP so that I can put a bunch of different moves on all my characters and my main character. So um yeah, I think I'm finally getting to a point though where it's starting to get a little bit more difficult because I was kind of breezing through it because like I said, I was farming so hard at the beginning. So I was like really high level above like all of the missions that I were doing. So I was just like, going into the battle, 2 or 3 hits and everybody's dead. But it's finally starting to level out where okay, I'm actually having to strategize. Like it's getting challenging, and that's always fun though, because then I actually have to like, okay, now I got to use my brain a little bit here. I got to figure out who can I buff, who can I switch out, because I have like so far, I want to say like 16, 18 characters that I can pick from. So it's just a matter of like switching them out and putting who I want. But I do have like the 8 that I like that I'm kind of really stubborn on. That's kind of why I get so flustered when it's games that have like multiple character options that you can switch out your party because I always have like the characters that I just like, and I just don't want to switch them out regardless of whether another character is better or maybe they have a better move set. It's just like I like my 8. I figured out how to battle with my 8. Like I got them perfectly set up. I got the front row set up, the back row set up. The back row is supporting my front row perfectly. So I don't want to switch anything. But, with this game and the challenges that it offers, I'm gonna have to start, switching up my characters. So yeah, but yeah, I'm enjoying Octopath Traveler Zero so far. No complaints. 10 out of 10 right now.
Cool. Omar, what you been playing?
What's up, people? Yeah, this week been a long week for me. So we start with I got the plot in Forspoken. Um, yeah, I keep
Congrats.
this game. Sorry, thank you. This is another game that you just love to play and you hate the platinum. I had to make use of YouTube a lot because of certain areas that are so ridiculously hard to find. And yeah, I went in with this game already being spoiled on an important plot twist, but luckily that didn't even matter because I had zero content of it. And yeah, afterward, I finally made it working. Pragmata demo, I tried it. And the second I tried it, I knew this game is made for me. I just love the unique gameplay mechanic. How you need to focus on hacking and shooting at the same time. Touching is a little iffy. I went into a little big boss, but I died a few times and then I wanted to do something else. So a pro tip: if you're playing the demo, play the demo and finish it. The second you close it, it's over. It's gonna be gone. Your save file at least. So if I want to play it, I need to really restart the demo. I will say though, lots of hidden stuff in the demo. Lots of goodies to find. I even found a health upgrade So that was cool. So that's definitely a buyer for me. Now, the negative. I went old school. I tried Resident Evil 7. I had so much hope for this game and I love the aesthetic of this game. I truly do. It's just, I need to admit, I suck at this type of game. Survival horror. It doesn't feel horror-y in the sense of the main villain, at least from what I played. He feels more like a clown than an actual villain, if that makes any sense. He doesn't scream.
In Resident Evil 7 Village?
Yeah.
Oh, it sound like we played a different game.
Nah, cause literally, like, dude, he literally got in the car and tried to run you over while talking, trying to talking smack about me. He doesn't have that scary persona to it.
I mean, there's multiple villains in Resident Evil 7 Village.
I'm talking about, I think his name is Jack.
Yeah, I know who
he's
you're
the
talking
person
about.
that said, he's the person that said, "Welcome to the family, son."
Yeah.
So far, I know you can't kill him, but I do love the game. I truly do. I'm absolutely gonna watch it on YouTube because I want to see what the story takes me. It's just I suck at the game. If there was enough bullets, I would have. I should have played it on easy. This way, it doesn't matter how much bullets I have. My worry is just I don't have enough bullets to deal enough damage to the enemies. Because they take 3 shots to the head, but they wobble. They're not like normal zombies where they come at you slow. They run.
So you had
But
trouble with this game, but not Returnal?
Returnal is easy, dude. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I'm just saying because you're saying they wobble. So.
No, but Returnal is literally a bullet hell. You're not wasting there is no.
So your problem is item conservation. You struggling with bullets. You don't want to item manage.
Yeah, basically survival. Basically, like if I had a limited bullet, let's say, I would have played that game no problem. It doesn't feel scary to me, at least, and I'm a scary person, so.
I mean, it sounds like you don't like Resident Evil because the whole point of that game is you gonna be conserving stuff.
Yeah, I was like, that's all the Resident
entire
Evils.
game, whether it's the health, whether like everything.
I know I played I played all the previous Resident Evil all the way to 6. I just skipped 5. So I know what I'm getting myself into. It's just maybe because of it being first person, which to me it feels a great addition to the game, not gonna lie. It's just, I just suck at headshots like that because of the wobbly they are.
Okay, so y'all heard it here first. Omar sucks at aiming and shooting in video games. Y'all heard it here first. I'm just saying. That's what he just admitted.
I didn't have this issue with whatchamacallit, with Cyberpunk. Like I know for some reason I just maybe it's legit the bullet count because I don't have a lot of bullets. And
I mean, but that bullet count shouldn't be the reason. So I mean, that just sounds like the only reason you're good at Cyberpunk is because you got a lot of bullets. So if you miss a lot, you still have a chance to hit a lot. It sounds like you're not good at shooting.
No, absolutely. I do talk at aiming, not if it's first person, I think, but also there is the thing that help you with aiming, and not auto aim, the other one. I forgot what it's called, but there's something specific to console players that
it's called aim assist.
Yeah, aim assist. Thank you.
Oh, this nigga sucks, man.
I mean,
he said he need aim assist.
Most of them have it auto. It's auto built in. So now you gonna make me load up this game real quick and show you how it's done. But I got you. We gonna see. I don't even like this Resident Evil for the record, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
But why did you say Returnal? Because Returnal.
Because I'm talking about you're having issue. If you're having bullet issues, right? Like you sound like you're missing.
Yeah. I did miss a lot, and that, for me, that's not a problem. It's that I don't have a lot of ammo. When you don't
I
have
mean
a lot of
that is a
ammo,
problem because you're missing.
Yeah.
yeah. Remember that
Yeah.
I have no issue.
It just sounds like you aren't good at aiming in any game. It's just the only reason you're able to do it in other games is because you have a lot of ammo.
You have a lot of ammo, yeah.
I just said this.
I mean, it's
I
okay.
did-
I mean, we get it. I mean, it's a skill issue,
Yeah,
but you know.
I'm not saying that's a bad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
I'm
just a
just-
skill issue,
no,
Omar.
I'm
You're just
just
not good.
I'm disappointed in myself because I really wanted to play the game. I really wanted, because I wanted to get myself ready to play 9, because I'm interested in 9. That's why. And I was
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you really gonna
interested
suck
in
because
9
old girl, she's gonna be running and stuff, and she gonna be missing, and you gonna be missing. It's gonna be tough for you, Omar.
Yeah, because 9 is third person, so that adds to it.
Third person isn't helping you because you just said this game was third person and you
Yeah,
were missing a lot.
You waited to play this one until the third person mode.
Yeah, I thought that's literally what you're playing on right now is third person.
No.
Are you
What
not?
I'm playing right now is first person.
I thought you.
You
I'm so
wait,
confused
you
because
said you were waiting to play Resident Evil for third person mode, but why are you playing it in first person?
Oh no, so I think so. Right now I played Resident Evil 7.
yes.
I played it to get myself ready to play
Okay.
9.
Okay,
you were
we
just
get
playing
that.
Village, right?
Sorry?
You were just talking about playing Resident Evil Village, correct?
No. 7.
Seven
Village
is
is eight.
Seven is village.
Oh, I thought 8 is Village, but okay.
Okay, whatever. But you were playing it in first person.
Yeah. I have no other
Why?
Because I have no other choice.
I thought that game came in third.
No, the 7 is where they went first person.
They never. Okay,
whatever.
you're talking about the original one. That's why he's talking about the original one before it. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Wait, they updated 7 with now third person?
No, because you're not saying the full name, which is Biohazard. It's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and then 8 is Village.
That's what I'm playing, Biohazard.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could have swore he said he was playing Village, but
Yeah, I thought he was saying playing Village before, because that's what he was hype about when we talked about how Village got updated to 8. That's why I was confused. It got updated to third person. That's why I was confused why he went that far back.
Oh, okay, that explains everything. I know. I'm playing 7, which is not gonna lie, the aesthetic. I legit wish I could have been a fly on the wall when Capcom decided to turn this Resident Evil upside down. Cause 6 is one of the worst Resident Evil I've ever played, and to go from 6 to what 7 is now, it's insane. Class act, not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm absolutely gonna watch you on YouTube and then play 8 in third person then. With that being said, I I got to try out Dragon Quest 1 and 2, but I tried 1, and let's just say it didn't run well. It was doing 30 FPS, then dripping all the way to 0. So yeah, I dropped out. I knocked out of this one. I'm debating to play Forspoken DLC. I will just play an indie game.
So let me ask you
myself
this:
over there.
when you played Resident Evil, what did you play it on?
On PC?
Did you use the controller that you were supposed to be using?
I did. I actually. That's what I tried it always.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Cool. Is that all you played?
Yeah, that's all I got played.
Cool. Yeah, as for me, same as Morgan, obviously, Octopath Traveler 0 has been, I'm trying to play it every waking moment, every second I can. I'm not nearly as far, as Morgan in the story. I realized, cause like I was trying to do certain things, which I realized like no matter what, you got to push the story in certain aspects to get to some of the stuff that I'm trying to get to. So now I'm working on the quest for power. Right now, like one of the main original quests you start with. So I am working on that. But yeah, I feel the same way. Like it's been really good to me. Like I said, the stories and stuff I've seen right now have been pretty freaking dark. Which again, I really don't understand. Like one person that I know particularly like loved Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 is like freaking out over Zero. Like when I say freaking out, I mean they're acting like they absolutely hate the game. Like it is the worst game ever created. And I'm like, I don't know if she's playing completely wrong or something, but like she is freaking out. And I'm just like, but everybody else I know that loves Octopath is having a ball with this game. Like I just seen the streamer or whatever that most of y'all have seen around, the Unalesca chick or whatever, who's always going crazy over Final Fantasy. She's freaking out, like tweeting about it literally right before the show went live, about how dark it was and how the story has just got her. Like it's one of the best stories. For her, it's looking like honestly joining her game of the year as one of her top picks. So it's like, again, I don't know what's going on with this other person, but yeah, I mean, I'm having a ball. Morgan's having a ball. So everybody else I know that's playing it is just really enjoying it. And Octopath has been great. Then still, I was playing. I did play some Fortnite with the nieces and nephews. They were excited for some updates that happened. It was actually pretty cool. Like it was another mode that I don't really play called Reload, where it's a lot faster pace and you just kind of jump back in a smaller map and just basically just clap people up. It was actually a lot of fun. Your weapons evolve and a lot of other stuff goes on. But yeah, man, like honestly, I was trying to record it, but I haven't been able to get it to do the surfing entrance again. But man, I'm sorry, like nobody can beat the updates for a live service like shooting game the way that Fortnite can, man. Like it is, I'm always just so impressed. Like the entrance, everybody knows the entrance in Fortnite, where we're dropping, bro. That was the original, dropping off the bus and everything. But this one, you actually surf in on this huge wave, and when the countdown stops, it launches you off the wave, and then you jump into the map that way. It was just so insane. Like I was just like, they just keep getting more and more creative and doing bigger and better things, which is just crazy. Which is why their collaborations are out of control. But yeah, still a lot of fun. Like I said, I don't play a lot of it, but I try to squeeze in a session every now and then. So that was a lot of fun playing with my nieces and nephews. And then I am finishing up the campaign in Ace Combat 7. Something I've had that ongoing forever, because honestly, going for the main thing that's held me back, like I could have beat the campaign, but what's held me back is like I was going back for the aces. The aces require like a ton of things to happen, so it's completely different per level. And I mean, if anybody's played these games and gone for the aces, it can get pretty tough. I know one of the last one I was on, you had to get 75% damage to you before enemy reinforcements showed up, and like the way you had to do that is crazy. And then that basically puts you in a position to get one shot while you're fighting an enemy ace. So yeah, I mean, it's intense though. It takes the game to like a whole new level. It's a whole new level of difficulty. Doing that, you can only get the aces on normal or above. Like I said, some of the missions can just get pretty tough. You got to make sure you're bringing the right loadouts. Grabbing the right planes. I do have all the planes I currently have unlocked, as well as I got the Top Gun update for it. So I got access to the plane that Tom Cruise flew, the upgraded A-18, and everything. So I don't know, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I've always really liked Ace Combat, and I bought that one a long time ago. And then of course Ace Combat 8 got announced, which definitely put the hype mode back in. But I was already playing it before they even announced it, so It's just even more exciting because to finally get to see them push the envelope on current gen is a big deal because, like I said, not Resident Evil, but Ace Combat 7 is a PS4 title. So I'm really anxious to see what they can do with this upcoming engine because Ace Combat has always been a solid showpiece for it. And then I also started playing an indie on PC. It's only on Steam currently, but I'm sure they'll like to release later if they could. Called Kingdoms of the Dump, which I think I mentioned at one point. So I got a little bit further in that. It's been a lot of fun. You can tell they really are passionate about the turn-based aspects and everything that they included, as well as like the whole thing with this game being made by two janitors and the way that they craft some of the enemies and stuff. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm really liking that. It's a balance right now between all these different games. And then I was talking to the developer for Beloved Rapture, I believe is how you say the name of the game. Another indie. After they had followed me on Twitter, and that's been something I've been seeing from another friend of mine on Blue Sky who plays a ton of JRPGs on handheld specifically. So they have like the Steam Deck, OLED, and everything. So I've been seeing it from them, and then I started talking about it, and that's when the dev messaged me on that. So that was pretty cool. So definitely looking to get to that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing something. I've been playing a little bit of everything, but honestly, outside of Octopath, because that's really been the main jam. Outside of Octopath, I feel like honestly what I've been doing most is listening to my audiobooks. Like several of my favorite authors recently released a title or two, and then I found a way to one of the ones that I'm waiting for to come out later that I had Morgan and Chris Toast read. I was speaking to him, and he's in the process of getting his other two books, the sequels to the ones that we read, in Audible form. And then based on the strong recommendation of Morgan, I also have Hail Mary going, the upcoming movie based on a book. So I did want to check that out and get the book perspective since I know how much more detailed and intricate the books typically are. So I could really get that story. Being a sci-fi fan, it didn't take much convincing. But Morgan has really good taste in stories. So if she told me the story was good and she really thinks I'll like it, then I'm pretty sure I will. So that kind of cut any doubt I had. So also jumping into that. So I don't know, man. It's been crazy. The only thing I really haven't had time for lately is anime, which we were laughing about recently because PlayStation made an announcement about Crunchyroll on the PlayStation app, and both me and Morgan were like, "How dare you?" First of all, because we have been saying for the longest that PlayStation needs to include like at least the bottom tier of Crunchyroll, and at least in PlayStation Plus Premium. So it was like, how dare you make an announcement for Crunchyroll and it's not that? But yeah, like I said, otherwise, man, it's been a good time. Lots of presents, lots of stuff going on. Like it's just been crazy, running back and forth, last minute gifts. Like it's just been literally insane. It's like Christmas is upon us very shortly. What's up?
Super quick about anime. Speaking of anime, I'm so fucking excited. Not only is Prince of Tennis is coming back, we're getting another season of it. This been so long in the making. One of my favorite anime. No, it's not One Piece. Hitman Reborn is doing something 20 years legacy, 25 years legacy related. It got multiple projects at work apparently, and word on the street, we might get something anime related from Reborn, and that would legit It put me over the edge because I love the one.
Okay. Yeah, those are all good things. I mean, I know Kaiju number eight's final finale or whatever is
Yeah,
coming
that's
as well,
also
or at least
September
in
to
the
date got a
manga.
season 2. Lots of anime news this week also.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of good entertainment out there if you're into all those things, like a lot of us are. Honestly, there ain't enough time in the day. So, but yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and jump straight into it. So obviously, this week the big talk, the AI controversy, right? You know, people magically finding out all of a sudden that the expedition team used AI placeholders in order to help them in the early conceptualization phase, basically for placeholders, um, essentially marking, locations or buildings so they can kind of get the team up to speed. So you're not spending a bunch of time um, trying to get an idea on paper and just kind of using that to hold an area within scale, right? A lot of people are just like, a lot of people, a lot of comments I've seen, are obviously coming from a place of ignorance and people having no idea how much of an exact science or how game development works at all, which is honestly made this whole conversation frustrating on social media. And if I'm frustrated as someone who is not a game developer, I know they're just seething right now because it's just like, it's trying to talk to people about something that they just don't have the IQ or understanding for. Um, and it makes the whole conversation frustrating, and people bringing up talking points that they just don't even understand. Some people are just like, well, why don't you just walk in the room and tell them what you want? You could say, I want a sewer, with a disco ball on the ceiling and water running. And I'm like, again, you're imagining whatever you think that looks like and trying to relay that to an artist. They could interpret it completely differently. But if someone who is not an artist has the ability to, give someone closer to an exact of what they want and then let the artist design the original work, creates a big difference. And look, the reality is, like, people want, you know, video games made bigger, better, and faster than before. If you expect the tools not to upgrade and assist game development, is literally crazy. Machine learning has been in game development for probably over a decade at this point. Machine learning helps them do a ton of stuff. Like, people again don't really realize how many moving parts are in game development, especially AA, AAA. The higher you get, the more moving parts all these things have, and it's like you can spend. I don't think they understand the results of some of this stuff. Like, look, I'll be the first person to tell you, as a PC person, AI right now is on the shit list. OpenAI purchasing 40% of wafers till 2029, which make up a ton of tech and literally should just be illegal, because it's literally the thing causing prices to spike on RAM and SSDs and all this other stuff. So honestly, I think some sort of regulation is obviously going to come around for that, to try and balance this stuff out. But yeah, game developers using a lot of this stuff internally, small internal developments to kind of get this stuff and increase the speed of their tools. That's exactly what you want. Like, again, none of these titles that have even talked about using AI have AI in the final product, or have it in the final product as intended, which was an error in Expedition 33's case. They had a placeholder generative AI piece that was newspaper wrapped around a pole or something, and people had a freak out event over that. And again, this is another thing. People are constantly crying about transparency, and then when a developer tells you they accidentally left a texture in the game they didn't mean to, then all of a sudden it's, oh well, you're probably just lying, you're just saying that because you got caught. Like, are we 5 out here? Like, these are grown people. Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. with a lot of these allegations. Honestly, this is part of the problem with social media in general, especially Twitter, where farming negative engagement, talking about a bunch of bullshit you have no idea on or no clue, is just ridiculously annoying. Like I said, there's a time to be upset about this stuff and certain things, and you know, um, using AI voice generation and stuff, and removing the need for proper voice voicing and stuff like that. Like that, I have issues with that, right? Generative AI being included in the game as your own obviously would be an issue. No one is arguing that stuff, but people are arguing that against tools that developers are using in order to make games faster, more efficient, and available in more languages and a ton of other things. And it's like, it's there, it's going to be used. Even Hideo Kojima made a comment stating, telling people like, as far as AI in game development, it's basically like the cell phone at this point, the modern cell phone for everybody today. Most people have a cell phone, or they have a smartphone, which he said specifically, smartphone. And it's like, I don't really, the problem, like I said, the frustration with this whole thing, it's like there's a lot of ignorance going around, and like the blind leading the blind. So it's like people are like, oh, that's what it is. And and some people are even at fault for sparking the flame without all the information. I was recently in conversation on Twitter with Gene Park when I had to explain to him, like, bro, you can't just be saying half the the sentence or the context, and then so people were jumping to conclusions thinking Expedition. So you got people running around right now thinking Expedition 33 is fully made out of AI art and all this, that, and the third. And now you got people thinking they Inspector Gadget, like, oh, I knew the whole time, man, I knew that game's art was weird, bro. And like, no, you didn't know shit, because number one, it's not. Like I was saying, stuff was placeholders, and everything else was originally created by the artists on the team. Again, this stuff is stated, the transparency is there, but this is what I'm saying. The gamers want to act crazy and get ignorant when devs give them and feed them the exact explanation, largely because honestly, a lot of these people are frustrated because they don't even understand it. That's the other problem. Like when we've talked about the problem with ignorance and the lack of comprehension in general, but especially in the gaming community, and how bad that is, and it results in all these really bad takes and people who don't know what they're talking about, especially people with a platform, right? But yeah, like I said, as someone who's been in game development for a very long time and followed every single thing I could about a ton of these games, and seen the hard work that it takes to create some of these titles, like I said, guns to your head, most of these people couldn't create a UI at all. I know Heroes in the chat, and he works in like UI design and stuff like that. Again, that stuff is tough. Creating a UI that people want, that's intuitive, that's uninvasive, that does all these things. Like, people don't understand the amount of work that goes into this stuff. This is why I say a lot of gamers are honestly just ungrateful, and that's really what you're seeing on display here from a lot of people not understanding the science behind the craft. And it's like, look, if you just want to be a gamer and you don't want to understand, cool, but don't come out here acting crazy when you don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I don't want to eat up the whole conversation, but this stuff got me heated. You know what I'm saying? As someone who really has an appreciation for game developers and everything that they do for us, like, just the level of ungrateful bullshit, people acting like these people don't work hard and do some of the most incredible shit we've ever seen in our lives, and that we're allowed to appreciate and get all these amazing titles from these people, is crazy to me, bro. Like, shit just pisses me off. But Weeb, you sound like you was ready to go, so go ahead and jump in, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the conversation as well, particular with Larian. That they came out, admitted that they had used AI, or used AI, for exploring things. And they just, like, yeah, people ran with that. It's like, oh no, they're using AI for developer in a game. They're using generative AI. They're replacing concept artists, even though they said, like, no, we still have concept artists. We're still hiring concept artists. Yeah, it is kind of. I mean, as Owen would say, damn if you if you do, damn if you don't. You know,
Yep.
kind of thing. Because if you yeah if you're not upfront about it and they find out, then they're gonna yeah roast you anyway. And
Exactly.
if you do, yeah, they're still gonna come after you. It is kind of like part of that is neat, like you said, ignorance that people don't really understand sort of the different ways that AI can be used.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is indeed, like you said, drama. People want to engagement farm. People just love to uh, put somebody down a peg. Like if it's popular and suddenly there's something yeah controversial, that they love to use that yeah to yeah do exactly that. You know, to make to engagement farm and just yeah, we love to shit on things that are popular. I mean that's kind of human nature, I guess, but it is also pretty clear, you know, that that's the intent. You know, that's there is no holier than thou attitude after that. It's just, you know, they just want to engagement farm. But yeah, I mean, like look, I'm like you said, like I have also plenty of words about, you know, about OpenAI, about what they're doing with um, uh, you know, the RAM apocalypse that they've caused, and all the shenanigans they're doing. I mean, they're I could go on and on about my own ideas about how that industry is shaping up.
Yep.
But as a tool, I mean, it is a tool that probably is it's not gonna go away. I mean, the Pandora's box has been opened, so it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the end, like you can just use it as a sort of as a time saving tool. And I think that's essentially the proper way to use AI in your daily life. And yeah, you know, there are other applications as you know in the medical industry where they're able to you know predict maybe if you got like a cancer, a potential cancer risk, because it can go through a lot more data quicker than a human being can, and
Exactly.
it's capable of you know predicting things in a way that we can't. But and like yeah, it's not creative as in, you know, it's sort of um, generative AI just regurgitates whatever, you know, you fed it and sort of composes it in a different way, and that's what you can get. So yeah, you know, and sure you can argue that in the end everything is sort of inspired by everything at a certain level, but yeah, I mean, there's certain you can see if something is made by AI, and that's kind of the thing is what people are upset about, and uh, rightfully so. Like, I don't want to see like I get pissed off every time I see these idiots who are have made a, you know, an AI movie. Say, oh yeah, yeah, you know, look at what we can do with it. Like, yeah, dude, thanks. You know, that's definitely why we needed the RAM prices to skyrocket, so you can make a terrible AI movie. You know,
Yeah.
um, that's absolutely the wrong way to use it, and I say that probably. Um, I mean, obviously these people are always going to be there to annoy us, but that's probably going to disappear. I think it's at a certain point when AI is going to be, you know, when the shakeout happens, um, when we're going to start paying the actual price of AI, because that's kind of the major discussion points right now. Like, yeah, we're not actually paying the price like we're not paying the price that actually costs to use now. All the power requirements, the data centers, etc. That stuff is not calculated in the price yet. And when that does, you're gonna see it's gonna be much more of a tool where people need have to make the you know the decision or the investment. You know, is this worth it? Is it going to save us enough time for us to, you know, pay a, I don't know, a 10K license or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see you know the hobbyists who are just wasting it to make stupid movies. They're going to disappear. Um, But yeah, I mean, indeed, like how to use it properly is indeed just as for gaming is used, yeah, to save time. And like it in a way, as I said, like it's just like Google. Like instead of searching on Google yourself, you were just asking AI who has already basically absorbed all the content in Google, and can just give you the answer instead of you having to search through multiple websites. Say, okay, which one is the right one that I need for for my question or for the particular thing that I want to explore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's kind of, yeah, it is annoying to see that people are sort of picking the wrong battles. Yes, we should absolutely get on the ass of these big publishers who are suddenly just thinking, oh yeah, everything needs to be done with AI, or they're firing all their, like these companies are firing pretty much their like entire staff. Is, oh
Yep.
yeah, we're just going to
EA.
replace everything with AI.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. AI, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Right.
AI. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that, and you can see, like, I think that was also the interesting thing with there's like this sort of controversy in Japan where one of these companies that is providing a particular fund that a lot of yeah, games and pretty much everybody's using. And yeah, because Japanese kanji are so complicated, it is a pretty big deal for them. Like you have to, it's pretty hard to make that yourself. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
they all license it, and they should, like, it went up like 100,000% or whatever.
Oh
Like you should only
wow.
have to, from a few hundred, you have to pay 20K or whatever. Uh, but apparently that company is in financial trouble because they went full on AI. They
Ah.
banked on that, and they lost money on that, and now they're trying to somehow make bank with their licenses at everybody else's expense. Yeah, so that's a perfect example of how not to use AI. Don't fucking ruin your own company because you think that it can magically do everything. Just use it as a tool, and yes, sure, like the entire discussion with transparency that was also, I think, a couple of weeks ago when I think Tim Sweeney's like, yeah, no, we shouldn't put it label games with made with AI. Like,
Yeah.
of course we should label them if if AI games are a thing. Like if people want to make games with AI, that's fine. But if you're got nothing to hide, then you should also be transparent about it. That's the thing is, like, Larian is transparent about like how they use AI.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that before, like you said, machine learning has been a thing since forever in game development. But
Yep.
again, people don't understand what AI is, how it's being used, and just assume that when somebody mentions the word AI, that's going to be the worst possible application of it. Um,
Exactly.
which is kind of annoying, as well. As I said, we want to have transparency about whether a game uses AI, and this is sort of not helping because developers are probably going to be more reluctant to mention that they're using it, and probably most of them are just, I mean, all of them are probably using it the way Larian is using it,
Yeah.
and the way Sandfall and pretty much everybody's used, and Kojima's using it. Um, but yeah, there are also going to be a couple who are just using it to generate their own content, like that. Was it that, I think, that Postal game, right? That was um, canceled because they had outsourced that to a studio that was caught basically using AI, and didn't mention it.
Yeah.
And they first tried to damage control. Like, oh no, it's not AI. We actually use real artists, and then, oh no, yeah, actually we do. Uh, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of things that, we don't want. That, yeah, basically, again, like, if you want, I can totally understand that you don't want to admit it because obviously this is the consequence. But that's kind of the thing. Like you can't really, um, unless that somehow gets accepted at a certain point, you cannot just uh, you know try to make a quick buck and use AI to make a game when when people don't want to buy that.
Yeah,
Because right now most of the things created with AI is slop, but you know you can use it as a tool to support the creative process, to support developing games,
exactly.
and that's that again, that's the whole point that we're talking about. Like we're just using it as a tool, and we're just gonna we want to be transparent about it, so people are not gonna misunderstand that, and exactly that's what happened because that's what always happens. Like uh, I'm not sure is it the Streisand effect or whatever it is. It's something that just whenever you try and tell people, okay, don't interpret it this way, people will always interpret it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
but, but yeah, that was my 2 cents.
Cool. No, absolutely right on all counts, man. It's just it, it's sad to see people kind of get directed, and this is kind of goes back to conversations we had probably 50 episodes ago or something. At one point, we talked about like the dangers of influence in the gaming space, and like now you kind of see that it's like if someone who's an influencer with 150, 200,000 plus followers has the wrong idea and spreads the wrong idea, then you get a bunch of people running around misinformed who thinks this person is right and thinks they know what they're talking about, and it just results in all this misinformation. um, but yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's so many things that I've seen over time that people have asked for, and I'm like, you realize like AI is like the king of making that easy. Like, I know people who are like, oh well, I want, we had the kind of the thing, we never really kind of got to it, but the mention of people who are, I'm constantly seeing people like, oh, I want to play that game, but I want Spanish subtitles, or I want Portuguese subtitles, or I want Arabic subtitles, whatever. They want the subtitles in their language. And it's like, okay, well, that's expensive and takes a long time, right? Especially if you are talking about RPGs with hundreds of thousands of lines sometimes, to be translated, to go through, all these processes and so on. And it's like, even if, and then, the expensive nature of it, if you're having to hire like a full on studio, or, a translation team, just for one language, that's expensive and time delaying, right? You know, people are upset, when they're like, oh, this game's been out for 6 months and it doesn't have this translation. And it's like, okay, well, if they would have fed the game's, dialogue, its audio, its subtitle options into there, they could have translated it to 56 different languages on release day. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff you want to do it for, to give people that access. But then it's like people want to complain with every form of AI, not realizing it's like, you realize you're trying to shoot down the thing that will do the thing that you want so bad. You want it in your language on release day. Well, humans are not going to magically get faster at translating. It takes them forever. I mean, we famously know this stuff way more than a lot of people because playing Japanese role-playing games, right? For the longest time, Japanese role-playing games were never released simultaneously because we were waiting for the translation to happen. It was like, what do people think is happening here? So yeah, a lot of good things, a lot of good examples that can be done correctly, and like you said, a lot of studios are using it correctly. Do we expect everyone? No. Like you said, there's going to be people out there that are going to make, trash and, use it the way that everybody is, portraying. But it's like, it's not these professional level studios making these titles, right? And a generative AI is not out here busting out The Witcher 4. Like, little Timmy in his room is not going to Google his way through Gemini, or Grok or any of these and make The Witcher 4. Like, it's not doing that. It can't. Like, I don't know why people are under this impression that that's what it's doing. It's kind of funny that people even think this way, because especially like stories and stuff, right? people are thinking, oh, they make up a story or this, that, and the third. But it's kind of funny you mentioned there was a thing from somebody mentioned from Pluribus, the whole thing because they're all homogenous, right? So everybody knows everything that everybody read. So it's like, so they're basically AI. So they were excited to read something new because they can't create something without already knowing it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like that, and it's like that's kind of how AI is. Like, it doesn't actually create something new. It's an amalgamation of other things that it's already consumed, even though it seems new to the end user. So yeah, there's a bunch of like weird limitations and stuff like that that people just really do not get. But Morgan, you've seen the controversy, you've seen the nonsense. We both played and platinumed and loved Expedition 33 and know exactly how that was used. How are you feeling about the whole controversy versus, kind of the state of the industry going forward? Just kind of the whole conversation.
Well, damn, bro, you said everything. So
I know.
I mean, anyway. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody said anything about this because I had to go to the bathroom, but like, Expedition 33 just got like disqualified from the Indie Game Awards earlier today because of the use of Gen AI. So they were the Game of the Year winner for that award show, but then it went to Blueprints.
Yeah, I saw
afterwards. Yeah. So
that. I mean, honestly, if I was Blueprints, I would have gave it to them, because I was like, I'm not about to accept an award when I was second place, like personally. But yeah, I did see that.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But it's just AI has its weird, place. It's very interesting the way, especially when the gaming community, when they find a new thing to hate, when they get that one buzzword, right? Like, for example, woke, and then everything becomes that word because nobody understands the meaning of the actual word. So anything you don't like becomes woke. And that's kind of what's happening with AI in games. They just see the word AI and they immediately dismiss it. Like, they don't even try to research and see what type of AI was used, how it was used, how much of it was used. Like, it's just, oh, AI, I just see it in the title, AI, okay, it's bad. Let me immediately dismiss this game. I'm not going to buy this game. I'm not going to support. Oh man, this studio that has been doing nothing but making bangers for 2 decades, right? Amazing games that I love. I'm just not going to support them anymore after this. Like, gamers are so weird about that. Like, half the time they don't really understand what exactly they're protesting, but
Yep.
they just see other people doing it, so they kind of hop on the bandwagon. It's like, oh, everybody else is hating this, everybody else is loving it, so I'm going to do it too. It's sad to say, but most gamers are sheep, and that's why they care so much about the Game of the Year awards, because they want, their game to be that game that's lifted up, because they need other people to like what they like,
Facts.
and recognize what they like. Nobody really can think for themselves. It's really a shame. And Kojima, he came out, recently, and was talking about AI and how he's saying he's not interested in using it for visuals. I mean, he honestly doesn't need to. I mean, we've seen his games. He's he and his studio make some of like the leading visuals every time they release a game, right?
Absolutely.
But he's more interested in using it to improve the enemy gameplay, right? And that's the thing. That's what's funny about this, is because when AI kind of first came onto the scene, right, and a serious conversation about AI actually being useful, people were excited about it, but like, bro, we could do this, and like, oh man, we could actually use this in games, and it could be used for what Kojima was pointing out, like, enemies can actually learn from your behavior, and they can do this and this and that, and all this stuff. And then the AI conversation, as it started getting more serious and companies started investing into it and things like that, then all of a sudden it became the bad word, right? Then it's like, oh wait, well, I don't want it in any part of my game. And it's like, no, like you guys were saying, there are parts of gaming that could benefit greatly from AI, right? It's just the generative AI, the creative part of gaming that people just, that you should be concerned about, you don't want touched, right? The things that artists contribute to, and and the writers and things like that. You know, you want original works and original thoughts, you know, when it comes to the the creative part of gaming. But when the work is done and you're just doing performative tasks, or you're just kind of pressing, you know, I mean, obviously you're not just pressing copy and paste, but you know, in the general sense of you're just doing things that, you know, are basically, you know, just FUD work, you can get AI to do that stuff, right? Like it's not necessary for a person to have to continuously do, you know, a menial task every time for a game. It's no longer necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. Kojima said, you know, for example, if you have 100 players, each of them will have their own habits and tendencies, their sense of control, how they move, all of that differs from person to person. But by
Mm-hmm.
having AI compensate for those differences, the gameplay can gain more depth. And in most games, the enemies don't behave very much like real humans. But by using
Yeah.
AI, enemy behavior could change based on the player's experience, actions, and patterns. That's the kind of dynamic response that would make much deeper gameplay possible. And I'm like, yes, that's where people want AI to be used, just like that. Yes, make my enemy smart, make my enemy learn from me, right? Like, oh, she likes to hide up there. She likes to, you know, she has a tactic of always going to the right or something. So we're gonna make sure our enemies go to the right because, you know, that's how she tends to, like, oh, she likes to use the assault rifle, or she likes to use the
Mm-hmm.
shotgun. So we're gonna have to use this in order to combat the way she fights. Like that I 100% am behind for the use of AI, right? Learn how I play.
And people love to strike down on dumb AI. So it's like if
Yeah, I
somebody
mean,
can
people get mad
help, you know.
at dumb NPCs all the time. I mean, I think that was like a big negative that a lot of people had with that one game that it was the first game that from Bethesda that Xbox released on PlayStation. The shoot, it was that co-op game where the two assassins, the black guy and the
Oh
black girl, I
yeah,
can't remember the one that was up for Game of the Year.
I know.
What'd you
Would
say,
you?
we?
That loop, right?
Yeah, Deathloop. That's
Yeah,
what I'm thinking.
Deathloop. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people were confused about how I got rated so high because they're like, yo, the AI is so fucking stupid in this game. like it's just like it not really responding to you. It's not really doing, you know, learning from you. It's not, you know, it's not really doing anything, right? And you know, that's a big negative that a lot of gamers have with games. They'll be like, man, the AI is so freaking stupid. It's so easy to kill everybody, right? It's like, wouldn't you like AI to be used so that it could get smart and it could learn from you, you know? I don't know.
Exactly.
But
I mean, people
yeah,
literally
but
talk about replayability all the time. It's like that's
yeah.
maximum replayability. It could literally
Mm-hmm.
keep changing, and it's like that could
Yep.
be a setting, you know, in the thing where you're like, you know, in this run, I want, you know, the advanced AI activated, basically the hardest difficulty, and I want, you know, it to match up to me and really learn, and give you harder and harder things or different interactions every time. It's like people are just not seeing the
Mm-hmm.
possibilities.
Yeah. It's just really interesting because, you know, one of the, not that they used AI, but one of the main positives that people have to say about Naughty Dog's The Last of Us 2 is the gameplay and the way like that the enemies, one, like, no, they actually react like humans. You know, they get emotional when you kill one of their friends and they say their name and they're like, you know, if you shoot one of them and they haven't talked to them in a while, they'll call the name like, yo, you guys seen Sarah? Like, where's she at? They start looking for the that person, and then you're laughing because you know they're dead over in the corner, and they end up finding, like, oh my god, she's killed
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you feel bad, like, damn, my bad, Sarah. You had a whole family that loved you. Sorry. But it's like stuff like that, you know, really just takes gameplay to the next level. That realism about it, like that, you know, that gamers really enjoy. And I was like, why? I don't understand why people wouldn't want that in more games, right?
Exactly. If it could be
Um,
made easier, made faster, and made cheaper, and then they can spend their time doing other things, creating
Yeah.
resulting in better games, like that's what we should want, you know. Kind of to your point on that, right? The machine learning thing. I recently found out through this whole controversy that machine learning was being used in a lot of games to correct the lip syncing in, you know, in a lot of scenes or games, so that you get proper lip syncing. One of the big things gamers complain about is when lip syncing is off, and it's like, well, instead of having an animator go in and have to tweak every little thing about somebody's lip movement, to try and get, it to match whatever words they're saying, the machine learning over time is, recording the data from the mocap, and basically can incorporate that into the mouth movements of the character on screen and correct it without a human having to touch it. So now that animator could spend their time creating that that no look backflip off the roof into that cool sword move that you love so much, instead of sitting there trying to correct Tammy's mouth trying to say the right words. And it's like, but people again are not they don't understand the basis of where the stuff is being used, so they're just it's just causing a mess.
Okay,
Yeah.
now
It's just like, again, people just don't really know, and like, this is just what happens when people really don't understand something that they're talking about. It's just, I just need to get mad at it because everybody else is mad at it. Everybody's just copying what everybody else is doing, and really no one knows what they're talking about, which is so funny because like I said, everybody just turned on Larian so quick. Like the
Yep.
people who won so much of people's favor by being this independent studio making great games with great stories and character development, and all of a sudden it was like all that good favor and all these great games they made, and then this impeccable trailer that they released for the Game of the Year awards, all that washed away in 2 seconds just from just uttering the simple 2 letters of AI, right? Oh yeah, we use it for this. Well, you do what? Everybody just I'm
Literal
not supporting
reaction.
Larian anymore. I was looking forward to this next Divinity, but I'm not buying. And I just want to point out the people who say that, they're fucking lying,
Yeah, they definitely
because
want.
I guarantee when Larian officially announces it and they show off gameplay and the official trailer, and it comes out, it reviews, and it's going to get in the 90s because it's Larian. I guarantee you, all these motherfuckers who had shit to say and said, "Oh, I'm boycotting the game. I'm not supporting it because of AI use," they are going to get online and they're going to tell you the reason that they're playing is because, well, I've I've just tormented with myself about this. I've really looked inward and I thought to myself, if they're only using it for like one specific part, it's really not that bad, and I don't want to punish all the developers for something that was out of their control. And I'm just like, okay, see, you're doing you're doing exactly what everybody thought you were going to do. You're folding
That
because nobody can
rationalization.
really. Yeah, they start rash like, well, it's just one specific scene that's used it, and they hired so many concept artists and supported so many different devs, so it just doesn't seem right for me not to buy this game. And everybody's like, just say you want to fucking play it, bro. Just say you were wrong. The FOMO's getting to you, and you want to fucking play the game. Like, it is what it is. Like, that you were doing some performative bullshit, and now you want to play. Like, you just don't want your followers to feel like you betrayed them by you know doing a complete 180. um but yeah, all these people who are mad about it, they're not gonna do shit, man. They're gonna be there day one, playing this game, booting it up, talking about how great it is. It's gonna be sitting there, it's gonna be a game of the year contender. It'll be fine. Larian will be fine. Especially after they start showing gameplay and shit for it, and they're saying this game is even bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, it'll be fine. Gamers
Oh.
will forget about this shit in a year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We definitely got much bigger fish to fry, as we pointed out with OpenAI and all this other people using it in a negative capacity. Definitely got a bone to pick with them.
Because you can definitely tell when a game is all AI, because we've seen those examples and they look fucking terrible.
They're insane.
Nothing,
it's super
nothing
obvious.
compelling about those games. It's very obvious.
Yeah, but people acting like, little Timmy, like I was saying in chat with them, little Timmy sitting at home, he's about to bust out Gemini or Grok or Chat GPT and type, make me this banging game of the year, turn-based game, and print. And, he just starts publishing games overnight. Like, it's like, y'all really that ridiculous about this? Y'all really think that's how that works? like if that's how it worked, y'all would all be making games, because it wouldn't take no skill. It wouldn't take nothing. We'd all be printing them. But Yeah, like you said, Henry was saying in the chat, like you guys both said, a lot of this is performative. Um, but yeah, Omar, how you feeling about the conversation, sir?
So this one is interesting for multiple reasons. Shout out to Dark Dark. I love his quote. There's levels to this. Okay, so let's start. One, people hate winners. Let's give it a buck. When you're at top, people loathe you. When you're the underdog, people will devour kittens just for you to win. But when you win, it's over. Okay, so here's the thing. At least most of the people that, at least from what I've seen, they're making noise about sample use of AI. They wanted either Kingdom Come to win or Hollow Knight. That's number one. Number two, the other part is that Sapphire actually got disqualified for uh, an indie award,
Yeah, Morgan said that like 10 minutes ago.
which is surprisingly, to me, it's like
He's just gonna go
like
admit that.
I get it. Spreading misinformation is an absolutely thing, but they would not have been disqualified if they were not true to something like that. Could they have forgotten? I do believe that they have forgotten it, but not disclosing it to me is like, come on, especially for an award. But this also shows what Kojima talked about. We lost the fight with AI. Like, yes, AI is taking over whether we want to admit it, whether we like it or not. But let's roll back a little bit. People were celebrating PlayStation have machine learning. So, heck, even Mark Cerny talked about AI. Everybody is going to use AI whether we want it or not. So, if you're going to abandon, not abandon, if you're going to try to discredit Sanfal or Kojima or whomever, then who's going to win awards anymore? People that have no money for AI? Indies? So at some point you just gotta accept that AI is going to be used. It's going to be the lesser of two evil. And you said it. People want things quick and the best stuff, but they don't want to use AI. Like let's keep it a buck and $1,000 right now. If you could, if with the use of AI, Intergalactic would be released next year, would you want it or not? And when I say AI, I'm talking top game where you don't notice anything from it.
Yeah, I want it next year. So absolutely.
See, that's the reality of things.
But I'm honest with myself. A lot of these people are not honest.
I'm honest with myself too,
Yeah.
guys. I hate what AI is doing, but that's just the reality of things. I'm not gonna this is me. I'm not gonna pretend after watching shit ton of trailers and wanting for a game. Oh yeah, no, I can wait 3-4 years. Like nah, if there is something gonna make it quicker, that's what's going to become.
Well,
Like
people think quicker means replacement, and in a lot of these instances, like I said, it's just not. It's not a replacement.
it's not.
It's an
It's not.
enhancement
It's
to
just
the job.
quicker.
Yeah, it's just another tool, and
Yeah,
that's the
like
mistake they're making.
like it's literally quality of life improvement what we talk about in video games. That's literally it. You're not replacing anything. Yeah, a lot of AI is coming, but some of them do work.
Well,
And
I think people just don't realize, like, yes, people have an idea, right? Because it's been talked about so openly for a long time that game development for AAA and some AA titles takes 5 to 6 years. But I don't think people understand how much gets used doing things that could easily be kind of uh, offshoot into busy work that some of the more talented people have to spend time doing. Like I was saying about the lip sync correction being corrected through machine learning instead of
that's
a
one of the
developer having to
biggest,
sit there doing that.
that's one of the biggest issues with people had with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
We never had that issue with Yote. So at some point you just gotta accept, do you want top, you gotta accept there's a reality and everyone's going to use AI. And I condemn and I commend Kojima, but also the person from Kingdom Come Deliverance. I forgot if it's
Yeah,
a
they
writer.
did speak out about it as well.
Yeah, I commend that person for speaking out because at least he's honest about it.
Well, and he said the same thing. He said, a lot like he referenced Larian and Expedition, basically saying, a lot like them. None of our final product is AI generated, but we definitely have to use it and have used it, to get certain tasks done or certain things done that do not result in anything you see in the final build. So
And
yeah,
then, Stanford was the underdog,
yeah,
literally the underdog, up until they literally won Indie of the Year. That one start people to get hurt, and then oh yeah, like beating God of Yote. Oh, that's not a problem because you're beating quadruple A slop. I'm quoting them. Uh, Beating other uh, a triple A games. Oh, that's not a problem. But when you beat indie darlings, oh, they're gonna come for you. And that's what you're seeing over there. With Larian, I mean, if AI is your disappointment with why you're not gonna support them, hey, you do you. Um, we have bigger problems to fight in the gaming industry, in my opinion. AI, we already lost to AI. Like we, if Stanford didn't mention it, I bet you money, at least you're an actual game developer, nobody have been able to find it out. Like, none of us played the game, got the platinum, if you did, and thought to yourself, oh yeah, this feels fake. None of us thought that. Uh, it's funny, it's legit. But this is why PlayStation get all the hate that you get. When you're on top, people want to see you fall. That's it.
yeah. I mean, it's a popular thing. It's been around for a long
It
time.
I never understood that concept. It's legit. Like you're on top. Yeah, you never sit down and question why are these companies on top? Like, what are they doing to be on top? And how can we adapt and become on top? They never do that. They always the woo me part. This is why I will laugh at Phil Spencer when he made that quote. We will never be able to compete with PlayStation. I'm like, you literally bought two publishers and you're doing jack shit with them. The amount of layout, but yeah, I'm going on tangents. But yeah, it, I do want. I commend companies to being honest. You legit need honesty, and the people that are angry. Hey, when you were playing Sanford 33, when you were playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, when you were playing all the game, you never once realized it was AI.
Yeah.
But one last thing, we heard how atrocious that Banana Fish anime AI voice acting was. Like, AI can be terrible, and if that's the case in your video game, you're gonna notice that. Then you call it out. Then you don't support it. It's all about your support, dude.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, I mean, I think like obviously, anybody who tunes into us, really kind of understands the assignment and has a bigger understanding about how a lot of this stuff works um, in the game industry. But yeah, I mean, it's sad to see, but like Morgan was saying, a lot of these people got short-term memory loss, and it's a lot more stuff going on out here that is way more concerning than developers making games a little bit faster and a little bit easier with AI. So yeah, it is what it is, man. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump to the next topic here. So speaking of game development, uh, Naughty Dog recently there was a published article talking about Naughty Dog entering crunch, in order to get Intergalactic back on track. According to the actual article, from my understanding, is that they were working 3 days a week in the office, and they basically mandated 5 days a week in the office with some mandatory overtime in order to get the game back on track. Which like I said, if anybody has been in anything that is development related, that is where you got to get something done, those are just the factors of your job, right? Those are the reality of the job. If something is off track, if you're behind on installations, whatever your job is, right? Like most of us have been through a job at a time when you had to do some OT to get stuff done. The job that I'm at currently, they were telling me about when they had like 2.5 years of like OT because their business blew up so much so fast, and it was the only way they could compensate for it. Is just basically trying to have people stay as long as they could, as much as they could, to get it done. And I mean, they compensated them for it. I mean, OT is time and a half and so on and so forth. But those are just the reality of it, right? And especially now, at a time when we're talking about an economy that is terrible, across the globe in a lot of places. And, I know more people than ever I see, even on Twitter, in the gaming sphere looking for a job. I had to make that transition myself. I know one of my friends, he's a programmer and he just got on at a new place. Now, I mean, it worked out for him. He was able to double his pay. So, I mean, it worked out really well for him. But, in the interim, sweating and looking for a job, like I said, in this economy, when you're going interview after interview after interview, is crazy. So it's like, yeah, if a little OT is going to keep your job at one of the most amazing places to work at, in all of gaming, which, has been verified by several people who have worked there and worked at tons of other studios. Like, I'd kill to be in that position right now. Let me get some mandatory OT on Intergalactic right now. Like, if you could train me to do whatever they could do, like, I will put in some OT on Intergalactic right now. Like, let me in the studio, like we were joking about the other day with the beautiful cafeteria and the think rooms and the retro gaming rooms and the party room and all these other cool amenities and stuff they got. Let me in there. Like if you're not hungry for it no more, let me in. You can go work for, My Little Ponies Adventure 3, where there's no OT. I'll do it. But yeah, like I said, another thing, people kind of getting upset for developers is like another thing, right? Like we got to stop like this isn't like high school or children. Like these are grown people working at a company. If you felt like, you know, your company uh, wasn't a good fit for you at this point, you make moves to move accordingly and move to another studio or whatever you need to do. So this whole treating developers like they can't make their decisions, like they can't deal with, being hired at some of these facilities is crazy. Like I said, these grown people, and it's like, yeah, if y'all got off track, y'all know what y'all targets were internally. Development teams know these things. Making video games can be fun, and for a lot of people, it's extremely fun. But you also got a deadline. So, when push comes to shove in anything, whether you're a plumber, an electrician, a construction, whatever it is, when a deadline comes up and you want to keep your business in line, like you got to make that push. So it's, again, like I don't really understand this other than, again, another version of kind of what we're talking about with the AI thing, performative outrage. People trying to be outraged, number one, because Naughty Dog is up there. Every time it's PlayStation, under fire, it's, how dare they, and this, that, and the third, and, all the things you could think of. And it's just hilarious, to be honest. And again, have gamers, again, having the nerve to be upset about, quote unquote crunch, when it's like, the one thing, all you hear is the moaning and groaning with delays and how long games take. And then it's like a game tries, God forbid, a game try to get back on track, for their release window, so that, one of their top studios doesn't miss an entire generation. Maybe that's a thing, right? But yeah, I don't know. I didn't actually realize this until Morgan pointed it out to me that I guess Jason Schreier does this every now and then, specifically with Naughty Dog. Um, so yeah, I wasn't aware of that until it was pointed out. But yeah, it's like I forgot what you stated was when it happened. Something had happened between them, or they shot down his review or something. I don't remember. But like ever since something happened between them, he been coming at them sideways. Every now and then whenever he can.
Apparently they rated him into the abyss, so yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And to be honest, like I've seen interviews with Jason Schreier. I mean, he is, basically, self-admitted petty. So I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, Morgan, I'll go to you with this one first. I know you're a big Naughty Dog girl. So how are you feeling about Naughty Dog going into crunch? 5 days a week in the office.
Yeah, I mean, like
The
you said, like
horror! People
you know,
working.
yeah, it's like I was saying to you, Jason Schreier does have a big hate boner for Naughty Dog. Ever since Neil and Corey, came at him, they double teamed his ass on Twitter and corrected him about some shit he was trying to say about Naughty Dog. Yeah, he's had a little hate boner for him ever since. Yeah, I think this whole thing is being blown out of proportion because if you actually read the article, and let me state in beforehand that I did not pay for this article. I maneuvered in a way for where I could read this article for free because I am not giving Bloomberg any of my damn money.
Facts.
But yeah, so basically it's if you actually read the article, it says that there was a mandatory overtime where employees were asked to work a minimum of an extra of 8 hours a week. So that roughly translates into an extra hour and a half a day. And they were requested not to go over 60 hours for the week. None of that is a big deal. It's like
It's really
ordinary
not.
work hours. These are like the most ordinary work week I've ever heard of. Like,
Facts.
they're getting paid OT. Like, it's not like they're forced into it and there's no positives or nothing for them for it. Even according to the article, most of the employees have went back to their their regular schedule now, so they're not on OT anymore.
Oh my
So I just
god.
kind of found this thing funny. It started in October and it ended here. And the reason they were working overtime is because they were trying to get a demo ready for Sony so that they, internal demo before people get excited. An internal demo showing like the gameplay and stuff for the Sony executives, right? To show
Yeah.
where they are right now. Um, and of course, they've missed multiple, according to Jason Schreier, multiple internal deadlines. So they're trying to get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So you got people working, 60-hour work weeks. I mean, that's at least in America, that's normal as shit. Like that's not it's not anything out of the
Facts.
ordinary at all. Um, and then most of them are apparently back on their normal schedule. So they went the mandate was because I guess Naughty Dog employees were working from home 3 days a week and then in the office 2 days a week. So the order was to come in and work all 5 days in the office, so they weren't working from home anymore during the crunch period. But I mean, again, like you said, if you miss deadlines, you know what it is.
Exactly.
Like if internally your team is missing
Yep.
multiple deadlines, and this is regardless of whatever field you're in, right? If deadlines are missed, y'all are gonna be working. Like it is what it is. It's part of being a grown up. Like yeah, sure, overtime sucks, but I mean the paycheck looks good afterwards.
Facts.
you know, so yeah, and now I guess they're on their holiday break now because obviously the holidays are here, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. And they're gonna revisit what the schedule's gonna be for when they come back in the new year, 2026. So it's still up in the air what's the schedule's going to be coming into 2026. But I expect if they're trying to get this game to come out mid 2027, if that's the goal, that they're going to be working hard.
Yeah.
Because if they're still trying to do, if they're still missing internal deadlines and they're trying to get a demo out for execs and maybe like a gameplay trailer ready for if Sony ever does a show, it means it's gonna be a lot of working happening. But again, when it comes to gaming, it's this interesting dichotomy between like gamers and crunch, where like you said, like people get so upset when games take so long. Like we see it all the time. Oh my god, especially with Naughty Dog, right? The last game they released came out in 2020, so that was 5 years ago, right? And then they had a game that they were working on, as we know, the online portion of the game that got canceled. So then now everybody's just kind of like scratching their heads. Okay, when's Naughty Dog going to release another game, right? And so, Neil and the Naughty Dog team had to come out and say, yes, we're working on multiple, single player games right now. And then we finally saw what at least one of them was, which was Intergalactic, right? So that's kind of the timeline that we're at right now. So everybody's like upset, right? Rightfully so. Naughty Dog's taking a long time to release a game. It's been an entire generation and we really haven't gotten a new game from them. So, people are wanting something, as they should, from, Sony's best studio. And so, if you, and when it comes down to it, though, it's like certain things are going to have to take place in order for these games to come to fruition. Now, I get people have this little hate boner when it comes to crunch for whatever reason, only when it comes to gaming, because like I said, like, crunch and overtime is pretty much normal for like the rest of, at least for America, like the rest of the workforce. That's normal. But when it comes to gaming, we sometimes, for whatever reason, treat developers with kitty gloves. Like, oh, they shouldn't have to do that. That's
I have to correct you there, Morgan. It's only when it concerns PlayStation gaming.
Oh, you're right. Because that is another point I wanted to make. Yes, you're right, Weeb. Because especially when it consists of when you think about crunch culture in gaming, specifically in the East, right? When it comes to Japan, China, and Korea, like crunch is not even a word of there. They're like, look, you're gonna work these hours and you're gonna deal with it. This
Oh
is
yeah,
what we
this
do
is
over
normal.
here. There is no moral upstanding, no moral grandstanding about it. It's like, here, if you come to this company, just know you're gonna be working. Like you're probably not gonna have a personal life. It is what it is, right? You came here to work and we're going to give you work, and that's what it is. And everybody, with this whole movement in the last couple of years towards, oh, we want, it's the East that's really giving us the games we like, the Western AAA is just terrible, blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, but y'all hate crunching, but y'all praising the people who always crunch though. And how do you think Japan is pumping out these games so quick? It's because they like there's no breaks. Like I remember reading this one article where somebody was working at Capcom saying like, they don't work there anymore, but when they did, it was like, when they got 80% through one game, it wasn't like, okay, let's take a break. It's like, no, we're moving on to the next game now. It's like once you're done, once you get to the 80% mark, you move on to the next project. And it was just like that. There was no breaks. It's just keep working. And that's just how it is. But nobody has a problem with it when it's from the East. When it's from Asia, it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. But America, oh my God, guys, why are you guys so mean to the devs? Give them a break. What about their families? It's like, oh, fuck the Eastern families, but hey, American families, they need they need those mom and dads back home, bro. It's so interesting that this whole dynamic with it, and nobody calls it out at all. But again, within this Naughty Dog or specifically PlayStation, because people have this hate towards specifically Naughty Dog, right? They hate Neil Druckmann. So anytime anything remotely negative comes out about it, they're like, yeah, fuck Naughty Dog. Because again, when you're on top, people just hate you. So there's a lot of performative, pearl clutching, as I like to call it, where people pretend to want or hate this crunch culture so much. They're like, oh God, these companies are just so evil for making these adults work. Like how dare they mandate work after they miss multiple deadlines? This is insane. Who does that? Like it's so weird when it comes to gaming specifically. And with people wanting these games as quickly as possible, wanting to play this game, right? Wanting when these games are coming out, but then getting upset when, okay, they take the feedback and they're like, okay, guys, we have to meet these deadlines. We have to get this game out. We got to get this demo ready. Then everybody gets upset. Okay, so if they weren't crunching and they told you, hey guys, just so you know, Intergalactic isn't coming out till 2030, what then? Like, what would be the response then? People would be getting upset then. Like, pitchforks and torches would be coming out about that. What are you saying? We're not getting another Naughty Dog game till freaking PS6? What the heck? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it would be a whole thing. It would be a whole thing. And now they're saying, okay, I mean, when I saw the title and it said 2027, I didn't give a fuck about whatever the rest of that headline said. I was just like, okay, mid 2027, great, sounds fucking fantastic. Do what you got to do.
There you go.
I'm not trying to be over dramatic, but bring the whips out, bro. Put them to work, bro. Like, listen, y'all can get mad at all you want, but The Last of Us 2 to me was a masterpiece, and they were crunching like a motherfucker for that game.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, yes, I think there's like a limit to it. Like, don't obviously overwork to the point where you got people dying of exhaustion, and stuff like that. But asking them to work and not go over 60 hours a week seems very reasonable to
Agreed.
me. It doesn't seem out of the norm. And again, Naughty Dog isn't the only one to do this. They're just the only one that people actually point out. Like, because I'm sure there's probably been one game this year that you've played where there was some crunch involved, especially like during the last portion of game development, like that last 10 to 20% is when a lot of devs say like there's a lot of crunch because they're trying to meet that deadline. They gave a date. That's the point where they've given the release date, so they're trying to meet that. So that's where a lot of overtime happens during that time. And developers give that final push to make sure that the game comes out on time. And shit, a lot of these games, like we've been saying, a big major problem with this generation is a lot of games, even with the push and stuff like that, even with the relaxed no crunching, we've gotten games that came out and were just crappy, like not optimized, buggy, glitchy. So I'm like, okay, so not crunching apparently doesn't help because these games are still coming out like not finished, what I'm saying, not done, not optimized. But I remember The Last of Us 2 came out, it was perfect. Like, I don't remember any bugs or glitches that I can think of, at least when I was playing. It was flawless. So not saying that crunching equals an optimized game, but it certainly didn't have a game that was at least messed up for me. But yeah, like I said, this is all performative. People do this. People act this way simply because it's the Naughty Dog name attached to it. If it was any other studio that had this headline, right? Like, let's just say, I don't know. Trying to think of another studio. Like if it was like Larian or something that they said they crunched the past, the last year or two for Baldur's Gate 3, nobody would give a shit. Nobody would care. They'd be like, "Oh, damn, well, it came out good, man. That was great." Like nobody would cry about it. Nobody would, and if they clarified like, "Yeah, we did crunch, or we're probably going to be crunching for Divinity too, or for Divinity as well, as in the last couple years of that game being developed, we're probably going to push harder into trying to get this game to come out, or if the Star Wars studio, the one that's making the Photar, came out, because remember he clarified and said, it's not going to be a 2030 game, I'm getting too old, right? It's going to come out before that. So if it came out that Casey Hudson and his team were crunching in order to get the game out before 2030, do you think anybody would be upset about that? Hell fucking no. They're like, "Oh, you're hurrying the process to get a Star Wars quicker? Bet. Do what you got to do, bro." Cool, sounds
Exactly.
good. But it's Naughty Dog, so people have this stigma, that they hate Naughty Dog. They hate that they're great. They hate the awards and the notoriety that they get, the fact that they're on the top studios out right now. They hate that shit. So anytime Naughty Dog has anything negative, it's deemed as, okay, they're this evil corporation. I knew they were evil. See what they're doing? Oh my god, fucking Neil Druckmann, bro. He just thinks he's just so great. Like the hate boner for Neil is honestly insane. But yeah, it's gonna come out like, it's, I don't know if the game's gonna get delayed. It probably will, with the fact that they're missing multiple deadlines. But once we see that gameplay trailer, I just know people are gonna shut the fuck up. At least they're gonna shut the fuck up about the gameplay. They're probably gonna still talk about the game, but they're not gonna be able to say anything about the gameplay, because Naughty Dog, when it comes to the gameplay, is A1. So um I hope that they reach that mid 2027 deadline, and if they got to do a little crunching to get to it, I say more power to them.
Mhm.
just don't do too much, just enough, right? The 60 hours sounds fine.
Yeah, it sounds like they did exactly what they needed to do, as a long time company, with responsible people in charge. So they did what they should have.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Weeb, how you feeling about this story, man? You agreeing with Morgan here? A lot of these people are just being performative.
I mean, it's Naughty Dog, so of course, the outrage was pretty much built in. Um, yeah. I mean, look, I the only thing I will say is, yeah, I do find funny that when people pick up that video where Neil saying, yeah, we're looking into that crunch thing, like we're gonna try not to do it, and now they're back at it. But the thing is, like, I'm not surprised. I mean, the whole faction two thing really well, we say rattled them, but really threw a wrench in whatever plans they had. Like, I think
Hmm.
they sort of, it caused so much delays, I think, or ruckus or whatever in that company, that yeah, they have to had to course correct, and had to get back on track. And yeah, so probably if they hadn't gone in that direction, they might have been able to get out Intergalactic, without crunch, maybe. But yeah, I mean, uh, it is understandable if indeed the rumors are true that they're aiming for 2027 release with PS6, that they're or end of 2026, that 27, that they do wanna get that game out there this generation, or Naughty Dog wouldn't really have, aside from the obvious, the remakes, remasters, would not have any game coming out this generation, and that would suck. So yeah, I understand that that's necessary. Like, sure, it sucks. Like, if you have to, OT. But on the other hand, like, again, like you said, like, they're getting compensated for that, and that's kind of thing is, like, previously they also said, like, yeah, it's not just that we're forcing people to OT. Like a lot of people just do it, and we have to tell them go home. Like you're like you're doing too much, and that's not to say that that's kind of the thing is like you do have to be careful with that, because I know a lot of companies will say that sort of like, oh, we're not forcing people to do OT, they just do it anyway. But yeah, the kind of sort of taking that for granted thing is also of course dangerous, because yeah, that's how people get burned out if you're not careful about it, and if you're not what they're doing right now, like if you're not limiting it, like if people are making 80 hours a week, like they're gonna get burned out. That's a fact. So yeah, if you wanna if you don't want to have more delays, then you definitely should take care of that. And yeah, sometimes there might be some peer pressure, as in if everybody's doing it, then you're kind of uh, obligated to do it, because even if if it's optional, you probably feel some kind of way like, okay, yeah, everybody's doing it, I have to do it. um but yeah, I mean, this is very clear, like they're not uh, uh trying to be ambiguous about like, oh, no, we didn't, they're just doing OT and we didn't tell them to OT. No, it's crunch, it's mandatory. And look, let's face it, like it's still sort of the standard way of operating for a lot of companies. Like the ones that are not doing it are the exception. Doesn't mean that that's what we should go for. I mean, that's kind of the thing, is like, yeah, as people grow older, like crunch is going to be harder, and you're going to have families, etc., that are counting on you. But I mean, like ideally you wouldn't need it, but the reality is that very often game development, that's just the way it is. And unless, as you said, innate, like, yeah, if you're, if you don't want that, if that's not your thing, yeah, you have a choice. I mean, sure, you don't want to be without a job and just quit your job if you have a great job, and it pays well, and you don't want to take that risk to just go somewhere else just to get a change of pace. But I mean, in the end, that is a choice. I mean, if you work for Naughty Dog, I mean, you probably have an in pretty much any studio. So if that's sort of like, okay, this pace is not for me anymore, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Like go to an indie studio or a smaller studio where that might not necessarily be yeah, required. And that's kind of that's a choice you have to make. Like this is pretty much inherent in game development currently. Um, which again doesn't mean that they should find ways to change, which kind of brings us back to the previous talk about AI. Like, yeah, if AI can be used to reduce workload of developers by taking away some of shortening the time they have to spend on some mundane tasks that yeah, normally would take up a lot of time. Well, that might translate in less mandatory crunch time. Uh, though, yeah, I generally would be very skeptical of, because I do feel like a lot of these developers, especially big publishers, would just use that like, oh yeah, so that means you can just do more. But assuming that there were plenty of responsible studios, they would could use that to shorten that crunch time or eliminate it altogether by using all available tools they have to make sure that they yeah, can reduce the time needed. Because yeah, in the end, that would mean you would be more likely to meet your deadline if if use it well, and if it indeed helps you be more productive and shorten certain parts of the development process. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Uh, but in the end, like I know Naughty Dog's going to deliver an incredible quality title that it's gonna contend for game of this generation easily. And I think everybody in the end is gonna be, yeah, probably exhausted, but still gonna have, um, gonna be proud of what they did. We're gonna see the documentary, how they made it, and you know how it goes. So yeah, yeah. Again, sucks that they have to do this to meet that deadline, but in the end, it's gonna be a great, yeah, product, a great game. We're all gonna enjoy it, and they're gonna have their, probably well-earned rest after the game releases. So yeah, that's my take.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
go ahead and jump in. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not away well, so I took over.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um. With this one, it's funny. It's always PlayStation does something. It get focused on with a microscope, but somebody does the exact same thing or worse. People pretend that it doesn't exist. Now, let's give it a bug. Crunch happened whether we want it or not. You gotta ask yourself, why was crunch needed in the first place? What were they doing? So what you're telling, because according to Neil Druckmann or someone else, Naughty Dog is not just working on Intergalactic, they're working on multiple projects. So I'm like, why would you, why would you not put all your eggs in that uh, Intergalactic basket? That's what I would do if I was PlayStation. And after hearing about that, I legit have a doubt that 2027 is going to be it for Intergalactic. Like,
I mean,
you,
to be fair, Naughty Dog has always been a multi-game studio. Like they've always worked on multiple games at the same time.
but they got, not got screwed over, but like, they got dealt a big blow with Faction. So so you would assume that they would have thought smart about it and just put all their eggs in Intergalactic basket. But yeah, no, I'm all on board the crunch with this one. I'm sorry, like, what? Why do we need to handle developers with kid gloves? I truly don't understand that. I respect developers, but when have that ever been the same energy for any other job? Yeah, no, this is always a weird one for me. And as always, Jason just wants to be in the spotlight. People not been talking about him for a while, so he's like, let me try to stir the pot. And the people that are mad about it, they have said jack and shit about other studios crunching. And we had quite a few uh, in the few years. I legit should have researched which were the studios because they were big studios that admitted to crunch and people that jack shit because it wasn't PlayStation. So I'm not gonna pretend that I'm going to be mad about this because I need Intergalactic, and if you don't even have a demo for PlayStation, that's a big problem in my opinion. I'm like, if you're supposedly going to be released in 2 years, I would have assumed that they would have had a demo running so that the next person that's not true Ishida, that does all the quality, not quality of life, uh, the quality check to make sure that everything is working fine. I don't know, dude, to me, from the sound of it, it feels like it might be a 2028 game. I don't think 2 years is going to be enough. And if people are already angry about the crunch, I would not be surprised if PlayStation is like crunch time mode. Because this is one of their biggest game that's supposed to be coming out. And uh, I said it at the beginning, play, these big companies are not big companies for a small reason. Like, they m- create games to make money out of it. That's what boiled down to it. And not even their biggest studio is immune to that. Like, that's the reality of things. So yeah, that's about it. It's it's interesting how people love only now speak about crunch, well before it was Jack and shit, because it was not Naughty Dog. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not gonna pretend that a crunch is terrible, cause if if you're behind. Because at the end of the day, you can delay a game so much before it's like they release such game and then people gonna complain, oh, this game is broken, this game released with bugs and all that jazz. So which one is it? Do you want, you say you don't want crunch, you don't want AI, you don't want it, you want it to be the best top quality, 60 FPS, 4K, Black K, ray tracing, you name it, it must have it. But and you want it so quick as possible. And you complain about CGI, which again CGI is not for us but for developers. Something gotta give in this industry. And to me, it's just let them cook. Uh, they need to crunch. Hey, it's part of the territory. It's part of the territory, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much at the end of the day, it's been there for a long time. Honestly, I barely even call what they did crunch when Morgan really laid it out, the full story, which again, no one ever really pays attention to. And Jason Schreier knew what he was doing when he labeled it crunch, so on and so forth. So, yeah. Either way, like you said, your favorite phrasing, which I hate this phrasing, but I mean it's a nothing burger, uh, like it literally. So shout out to them. Hopefully it gets them where they need to be. We can see some more of the game, like we were promised eventually. But clearly they're behind, and that's what you do when a company is behind, like we all stated prior. But yeah, we're going to jump to the next thing here. So, fun facts. Um, End of the year when all the percentages for lots of things come out, Steam had their wrap up as well. And one of the interesting things that came out from the wrap up is that Steam reports only 14% of Steam users spent their time playing new games in 2025. Now, the thing that's interesting about that, right, is that, people claim that big budget AAA titles, must release on PC day and date, in order to be, to sell what they believe they need to, and this, that, and the third, right? But the reality is, like I have stated prior, and the statistics support that a lot of people on Steam or on PC gaming in general play on rigs that either don't, are not up to snuff, to play some of these titles, or even when they are, they have to have the interest in the first place, which a lot of them don't. Um, and I saw somebody state, well, that's not the whole story with PC. There's Riot Games and all these other launchers and stuff, and I'm like, okay, fair, but most of those other launchers are for games that also didn't release in 2025. So if you're playing something on Riot hasn't released anything in 2025, nothing new. So you're still playing. Everybody who's just playing Riot games, if they hadn't played anything from Steam and they weren't in the new category, they're still playing old games. So again, this leads into what I've stated before, is that ultimately PC gamers have a different behavior. The majority of them are just not interested in that. And then what you have is, shout out to Logic for this one, he basically extrapolated, from the available users on Steam, which your potential audience on Steam is approximately 37 million when you account for those who played new games out of, based on that percentage, right? Then, like I said, you have to go into, who has the interest and who has the rig. So that's going to cut your potential audience significantly as well on PC, since again they tend to gravitate towards different titles, a lot more live service type titles or games like Mega Bonk and so on and so forth. But yeah, this, like I said, this statistic was just really interesting because it's always stated how all these other titles need to go there day one, this, that, and the third. And even though we have titles that have gone there, speaking of which, you were talking about Resident Evil earlier. Resident Evil's been multi-platform forever, right? Yet it still takes them, an astronomical amount of time to just hit 5 million sales and things of that nature. And it's like the majority of titles, especially new AAA level titles, the majority of their sales are typically on PlayStation. So again, yeah, this news is just it's interesting in that regard, just to kind of show the reality versus what people think is happening on PC gaming. The behavior, like we said, it's just very different, and the available potential audience is not as big as people claim. But yeah, Weeb, I know you've gamed on PC for a number of years. I know you're on your Steam Deck thing now. How do you feel like this lines up with your basically what you've seen from the PC community over the years? I'd say it sounds about right, but they try to tell us it doesn't.
No, exactly. I mean, this is a very typical behavior. I mean, it lines up with everything. With don't play newest games. They're very they play games like League of Legends.
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, exactly. Like, there's a reason why those games are consistently have been the most popular games on PC. And it is fine as long as you're not arguing otherwise. You're
Exactly.
arguing that you're getting to experience the games, the newest games in the best way possible, or demanding that every game needs to go day in day to PC. And the reality is like, it's a very different audience, right? So, and that's fine. It's in the same way that on different consoles people play different games. The Nintendo gamer typically plays different games than they do on PlayStation or Xbox, or well, Xbox maybe have a problem with not playing games, but that's a different discussion. But yeah, does not surprise me at all. No, this is very very much in line with the way that I experience it, and and again, it's fine. Just don't pretend that it's not the way it is. And this just reaffirms the reality of it in the same way as well as I wasn't also that long as that sort of the Steam service also suggested that basically most gaming PCs from Steam users were what was less powerful than the upcoming Steam box, which is sort of in between somewhere the Series S and the PS5, the base
Exactly.
PS5.
It was the
But
number was 70%. So 70%
yeah,
of them are weaker.
yeah,
Yep.
yep. So yeah, I mean, again, like you don't need anything more if you're playing, games like League of Legends or Counter Strike. But yeah, the reality is that's sort of the mean gamer. That's the majority, And if you happen to have a great gaming rig, like you and Nate, then yeah, you're one of the get lucky few, or at least you're one of the high end. Um, yeah, consumer market there, and you want to play your games in the best way possible, and that's fine. But yeah, you know that you're not, the majority, and that, again, is also something that developers know. That's why there are so many games that, um, yeah, that don't need, you to have the most powerful gaming rig to run it properly, because yeah, that's not where the majority of the PC gamers are found. So no need to invest so much money to get a game to look like, the next best thing, and then yeah, nobody's buying it. Um, so yeah, I mean, and that's there's always the strangeness when people are, and it includes, the likes of Phil Spencer, that they're just thinking that gamers are homogenous, that there's just one kind of yeah, market, and that everybody's supposed to play everything, and in the same way that fanboys are constantly like, oh, what? Yeah, well, okay, you have 100 million consoles and sold, and your game sold 10 million, so it's a flop. No, that's not how it works. Like, not everybody plays the same games. The majority of gamers have a particular preference. True, but in the end, like, it's a very diverse market. Like, yeah, not everybody buys the same games, and so yeah, if you get like 10% of a particular market, that's a lot. That's a lot, and you should count yourself happy. Um, and that just shows how big this market is. It's in the same way, with movies. Like, yeah, not everybody likes the same movie, so not every movie is aimed at the same demographic. You're not gonna expect, if you're releasing a rom-com, you're not gonna expect that you're drawing in the same audience that goes to the next big blockbuster Marvel movie or whatever, right? And it's the same way with games. And yeah, so again, it's at least nice to see that data is backing what we've yeah, been saying, what we know, and yeah, kind of wonder how their tune is now when they yeah, see that reality has caught up to them. But yeah.
Exactly. Um, Morgan, now more than ever, PC Master Race definitely needs you. Because you and your Steam Deck could probably single-handedly rescue this number up a few notches. The way you'll play some of these new indies and support these new developers. Um, but yeah, any surprises out of this information?
No, I mean, this honestly, I'm surprised it's this high. To be honest, I mean, I see Steam users, like PC users, on Twitter all day complaining when they have to spend more than $10 on a game.
That's
Like,
true. That is all facts.
like they'll be like, "Oh my god, bro, I didn't buy this, bro. I didn't buy the game. Why not, bro? It was like $12. Like, bro, what do you mean it was $12? Man, it's just, I'm gonna wait till it comes down to $5. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, they will seriously. That's why they recently, Steam announced, I think, their winter sale or something like that.
Yeah,
And
they did.
I just saw a whole bunch of people talking about, man, bro, I feel so good about like 30 games for like $20 total, man. Like people talking about, yeah, this is when I usually buy games. Like, it's that type of mentality where I'm just like, yeah, that tracks. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, you have, the pirating issue, where if there is a big new game that they want to play, a lot of these dudes will just, take the pirate route, take that
take the game and not buy anything. And so that also, you know, counts for this report. I'm sure there are probably a lot of dudes playing new games, but it's just the new games that they didn't necessarily buy.
Yeah. Which,
so
which,
it's
which
like-
mind you, kills their point further that there's missed revenue from launching day one on PC
No,
if
but
they're
like-
not
but
supporting it.
You have to remember, pirating is just, it's a low statistic, bro. It's not bro, it's not even everybody, man. It's like that's minor. And I'm like, wasn't there that article that came out that said like when God of War came out, God of War 2018 came out on PC, like it had like 6 million or something, or some crazy number of like illegal
Yeah,
downloads.
it was a crazy, and it was
millions.
one tracker on Pirate Bay, and it had millions of downloads. Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, look at all that missed money that Sony got just by not putting up
or even
pirate blocker on there.
missed potential, because that's what they tell us. You're missing out on your potential sales, and like look at all
Yeah.
that missed potential.
Yeah, you know. Again, a good game will sell. It doesn't matter if it's like exclusive to a platform or not. Like if it's good, it's going to sell well. If it's not good, people won't buy it. I mean, you know, they put Concord everywhere. That didn't help. You know,
Yeah, that did
shit
not
still
help.
got shut down. You know, so I'm saying, so it's like it's really about the game quality. Like, I mean, we see Sony games sell great, you know, exclusives sell great. Nintendo exclusives sell, you know, immaculately. You know, you'll see them get, you know, 20, 30, 40 million without PC. So it's like,
Mhm.
I think it's just in this day and age where you just see one of the big three, who shall not be named, going for a more multi-platform strategy
Mhm.
that has made a lot of PC players entitled. And they're like, well, if one of the big three, you know, kind of folded and is now like essentially integrating us into the fold of their ecosystem, right? Where PC is part of that ecosystem, then why aren't the rest of you doing that? Because at the end of the day, what it really is about is I want all my games on this one platform, so I don't have to buy these other ones.
Yep.
I don't want to have to invest in these other platforms. I don't want to have to buy these other consoles. I don't want to have to do that. I want it all on the platform that I prefer. And I get that because I prefer PlayStation and I would love for everything to be on there. But I'm also realistic in that that's not a likely thing to happen.
Which
So
is
if
why
it-
you're looking into
you
a
know,
Steam Deck.
Yeah, so if it comes down to it, I'll just go to the system that has the game, and it is what it is. But it's just like the entitlement when it comes to certain gamers is honestly hilarious. Like, and they don't even care about the repercussions of what said decisions could do. Like, we're looking at the downfall of a particular publisher and a particular brand. You know, it's essentially a joke now. Like, the big three now are PS5, you know, Nintendo Switch 2, and that fucking Nexus,
The next device.
console.
Yeah.
the fucking Connect. Like, that's essentially the big three now. Like, it's not Xbox isn't even in there anymore. And it's like we see the path that led Xbox to this point, and then it's like PC players are like, oh no, it's fine, no, it's fine over here, come in, like the water's fine. And it's like, no, there's a fucking giant shark in there. Oh no, it's fine, just step in, come on, it's cool, put your baby toe in. That's just how they are, because they don't care about the repercussions that it would have in the company, because they don't care about the company, they just want that game. Like,
Exactly.
they don't care about what happens and everything. They're just like, oh, I just want it all on my platform. Which is also kind of funny because then they claim that they don't like PlayStation games. You know,
That
these
too.
are all these boring, one and done story, sad dad games that are all like, you know, you push one button and it's all cutscenes and, you know, the whatever stereotypes they have for PlayStation games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care about those games. And who cares? They're overrated. You know, they only win, or they're only nominated for Game of the Year because they suck up to Jeff Keighley and blah 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 blah. You know, they're not actually good. They're all boring. They're all the same recycled story. You know, all that shit, right? But then they're basically to the point of like harassing people every day about why those games should be on PC. But I'm like, you don't like those games. That's what y'all say. Y'all don't like this shit. Y'all hate it.
Y'all
Yeah.
hate those type of games. They're not real games. They're movies. That's what y'all say. So why do you want it over there? What's the point? So it's like at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these dudes are you know, lie. This is the kind of defense mechanism when you don't have something. It's just like you might as well just berate it, right? You say it's crap, say you didn't like it anyway, say it was worthless, but you know inside you really do want it. It's just, you know, you can't have it, so you have to shit on it, right?
Exactly.
You know, they're still very salty about GTA not coming to PC day and date, and they're still racking their brains like how, I don't know why they think this will be profitable. I'm like, yo, GTA is one of the best selling games of all time.
Yeah,
And you think
yeah,
that
GTA
that
could
won't,
release on PlayStation by itself if they wanted to, and still sell, you
yeah,
know, 80 million
and still
copies.
sell more than any other game this generation.
Facts.
Still sell more than any other game this generation. And for some reason, PC dudes think that none of that would be possible without PC. Okay, cool. I mean, it's just the mentality that they have against console players, and the things that, you know, the what, you know, they call them, you know, console fanboys, just to turn around and be like the same thing just with PCs, right? It's very interesting to watch play out. I just kind of sit on the sidelines and just listen to them, because it's, especially people who are new to PC, just like, it's just like with anything, when you're new to something, like, you know, you're a new to a religion, or you're new to something, like you're a new vegan, you know, then all of a sudden everybody else eating meat are losers. You know, you have to be the extreme person who's like judging everyone around you, and, you know, being like, you know, well, that's why you have problems, is because you eat that. And it's just like, bro, you were just vegan for like 2 days, bro. What are you talking about? Well, I'm just saying, because it's that's why you have those health issues. And just like, bro, shut up. That's how a lot of these new PC players are. They were just console people, and now they're on PC, and now they're worshiping the altar of PC, and want everything to be over there. And now everybody on console are losers. And it's just like, if you don't have a PC, then, you know, what are you doing? You're not an actual gamer, right? It's funny to watch play out, but again, these numbers do nothing but reinforce what we already knew, which is most of these PC dudes are just really rehashing old ass games, playing games that are in the hot sell list, and, you know, replaying fucking what's that damn military game that they always play on fucking PC?
Or not count. Are you talking about Counter Strike?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just shit like that all damn day. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what we're playing, and that's what we see on the top of the Steam charts. It's like just that shit all year long. So,
And again,
yeah,
nobody's saying there's anything wrong with that. We're just saying y'all not about that new game
I
life
am.
like y'all claiming.
I'm saying something's wrong with that.
There's something wrong with that? Yeah.
all these great games, and that's what you're doing. But hey, if that's what you like, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, let's be honest about it. You know, that's definitely the thing that always kills me. It's just like when people try to act like, you know, again, people always try to use the exception as the rule all the time. I was watching Brap the other day, and so he was trying to argue that PlayStation makes the majority of their money from PC game sales because there was a slight advantage in sales to Helldivers 2 on Steam, which again we all knew about, and like I said, they never stated.
Wait,
why.
for one game that they make most of their money from
That's
from one game selling well?
Exactly. And then he tried to state, you know, the thing with Stellar Blade, and I was like, all Stellar Blade said was that they sold well, and we know they sold faster.
I mean,
but they didn't
PlayStation
say
releases
what.
their financial, you know, quarterly updates, so we know for a fact that's not true.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They
Yeah,
make
well, and
most of their money through streaming, through revenues of their services and stuff like that, through PS Plus and
Exactly.
stuff. So it's not, that's factually not true.
yeah,
But
and I was
sure,
like,
I mean, whatever you have to believe.
I was like, you do realize, like, the way he was even saying, I was like, you realize, like, one game negates what you're saying, even if we were comparing, like, on a single basis, right? Like, I was like, because you have to compare it single player, because number one, I was like, the conversation that was happening, and this is the problem with, comprehension in, in the world today. The conversation that was happening was about, why they should bother, basically bringing day and date. And it was like, well, they shouldn't, right? And the person was missing the fact that, like, he was trying to say, well, they should because they sell more. And I'm like, but they don't, though. And I was like, you can already tell, like, I was like, God of War Ragnarok sold like 15 million copies on PlayStation before it even touched PC. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
it didn't sell nothing
It's like-
nowhere near that. It sold worse
A
than
lot
the
of-
original on PC.
PlayStation players also have PCs, so if anything, it might just make those people just buy it on Steam instead.
Which
Like,
would net them less money.
yeah, so it's not like you would gain, sure, you'd gain some, but it's not like it would be this massive amount of gamers all of a sudden, buying it at the same day. It would just be a lot of the same gamers just buying it on a different platform.
Yeah.
And which would be worse for PlayStation, because on PlayStation they get 100% of the profit if you buy it on the PS Store, but if they buy it on Steam they only get 70%.
Exactly.
So it's like, if anything, it would just make them lose more money because it's that they'd have to share that cut with Steam.
Well, not to
I mean, I'm
mention
sure
that
at
person
the-
would probably no longer have, a PlayStation in the future should that take place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and if PlayStation were at that point to announce, hey, we're doing the same path as Xbox, we're doing day and date, a lot of people would just be like, cool, yeah, this PS5 is useless now, so I will be getting rid of this and I'll be buying all my games on PC, because I know you said you would do that. You were like, if PlayStation goes day and date, there's really no need for me to have a PlayStation.
Nope.
Because everything would be on my PC. I just play everything there. So I think that would just result in what is happening with Xbox now, where it's just the slow decline of the consoles, and the steady decline of the console sales to the point where it's just kind of a joke to have a PlayStation, and no one would really have it. It would just be like the really hardcore PlayStation people would have a PlayStation, and everybody else would just get like a PC.
Yeah, people are like, I
you-
don't understand. Like, there are people who are just console players, and I was like, yeah, but there's not enough that would find it warranted, or that wouldn't switch to PC, that it wouldn't have a detrimental effect that would just exponentially
that,
increase over time.
Gonna get that Steam machine, play everything.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that, yeah, it was just wild. And then they tried to bring up Stellar Blade, stating about how fast it sold, and I was like, yeah, but it sold like that because it was
You had Denuvo.
well, number one, it had Denuvo, so it was unpiratable for a few months anyway. They did eventually find a workaround, but again, it was already in the thing. Everybody says they want the first 3 to 6 months of sales because that's the key window. That's all Denuvo's meant to block. Like, after that, it's
Yeah.
kind of like whatever.
Number
right?
two, it was like, I'm gonna be like, I don't consider it this, but a lot of people do. Like, it's a Gooner game. A lot of these.
I mean, it's
weirdos
definitely
just wanted to mod it so they can have Eve being like the most jiggle physics, the least amount of clothes. Like, there was one mod that made her pregnant for some fucking reason. I guess some fetish. Like, it was just a whole bunch of shit. Like, people just wanted to do that. Like, so of course
Exactly.
they're going in droves because a lot of these dudes are just nasty.
Yeah.
A lot of these basement dwellers just wanted it for that. So that's why it sold well. Like, because a lot of these people who are playing it, they really have no opinion on the game itself. It's
Literally
I just want
none.
to make Eve jumping down. Like,
Literally
do
none.
you even know about the story? Like, you know what happened? No, but I can make her titties move fast. Okay, well,
Yeah, because we definitely, speaking from, point of view of having the platinum in that game, yeah, a lot of people just, like you said, they weren't talking about that. Like, I'm not even sure half these people who even have the game have even finished it. Like, much less, experience the rest of, what the game has to offer and the story and things of that nature, like we talked about when we all finished it. Incredible game, by the way. Shout out to them for convincing, a bunch of people who had no real intention of playing the game to purchase it in the window in which they had no choice. But
great
yeah,
demo.
that goes to show and support what Logic and them were saying on the show, was that, so what you're saying is there's no reason for PlayStation to ever go day and date, because the reality is you guys were lying, and the few of you that will purchase it over there will wait. So I don't have to sacrifice, I don't have to sacrifice my, console and my fan base to please you, because you will just wait, and then when I give it to
I
you,
mean, that's
that
what
is
they
when you will
say.
play it.
That's another thing. They say they're fine with waiting, but then they complain about waiting. They're like, "Oh, it's just a year. Psh, you guys just have like a year console exclusive, so who cares? It's just a year. I can wait." And then they turn around and be like, "I don't want to wait. Make a day and date." I'm like, wait. So, you cool with waiting, or you think it's stupid? Because that's not, you're coming off with two different arguments here. But yeah.
Exactly. Um, yeah. Omar, how are you feeling? Any additional thoughts on this 14% for Steam users playing new games here?
Okay, sorry, can you repeat that, please?
The topic, the Steam reports, only 14% of Steam users spent their time playing new games in 2025. So did you have anything to add to the conversation?
Wait, that's like I give up. But I thought there was Steam. I thought there was supposed to be master race. What happened?
Apparently they were mastering games not released in 2025.
Basically, it's what I always say. They're waiter race. They would rather wait. I don't know, dude. I am not surprised GTA is skipping them with that one. Yeah, PC sales, for the most part, they don't just happen. Let's give it a buck. Sometimes a banana game gets more views than AAA game, but for the most part, they don't do well. Like, remind me, didn't Final Fantasy 16 not do well on Steam?
No, it did not.
Yeah, like, even if it became they're not gonna support it, let's give it a buck. They just want it because of the whole console war thing. They wanna be like Steam, like PC is such insignificant that they are begging to be part of the console war. That's just like I have never, outside of you and a few people, I have never heard about a PC person that is content with what they have and are actually gaming. It's funny. It's legit funny. They talk like I can't like I I I can't fathom. You buy the best of the best quality and you don't even make use of it.
Yeah, I mean, most people,
And
I mean, you can see it out here on most people on Twitter when they get a new, if they get a new computer, they usually go straight to the Steam sales and download a bunch of old games. So, I mean, it checks out.
it's
I mean, to be
crazy.
fair, Omar, you don't want to half the time utilize what you got. You'd rather play it on PlayStation.
That's different. That's
Oh, that's different.
super
Oh, okay.
different. I never
That's
want
different.
no.
Oh,
There is
okay.
a huge no. There is a huge difference. One,
Oh, okay.
I never want pretended to be PC Master Race. That's
No,
number
no,
one.
no,
Mm,
no, no,
No,
Omar.
that's
That's the same
number.
damn thing.
That no, that's not the because at least I'm playing them on console. There's a difference.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Uh-huh.
don't flip it on me. Come on.
Nah, that's
You
definitely
know
on
I
you. I'm
game.
flip. Nah. It's
Nah,
definitely on
you
you. Because
you
I
know
get
I
on you all the
game.
time. Because I'm like, you could play it on a better
Y-
platform where
Yeah,
it's
but I never asked.
4K, 60,
Yeah,
whatever, and
but
you're like, nah, I'd rather pay it 1080p 60. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I never asked it to like I if I have the opportunity between DualSense and trophies
This man and the
Oh
dual
my
versus
sense and trophies.
god.
nothing
Here he go
versus
about them fucking dual sense, man.
versus versus nothing on PC. I'm shooting the DualSense and the trophies all day every day.
Oh my god.
Hey, It's not my fault PlayStation
Yo, it's
doesn't
definitely your fault.
allow DualSense on PC. This is why one of the reason I'm getting Pragmata on PlayStation. I'm definitely gonna play the demo on PlayStation, see how the DualSense is compared to the non-DualSense action on PC. But legit though, going back to it, they are wait and rate for a reason. Like they would rather wait. Wait, hold up. Thrifty is sponsored by who?
He's saying because the way you promoting the dual sense and the trophy.
Yeah, that's why he's getting on
Hey,
this. It's like
I
this
wish-
man got a Force
I
4070,
wish-
and he's sitting here like, nah, I'd rather play it
I-
on my PS5.
I
Like,
wish
bruh.
I only have one DualSense. And
I mean, that's the problem. Like, you doing all this and you're not even sponsored, bro. This is crazy.
hey, I wish. I legit wish I'm doing it for free. Not because for cloud, but because I legit believe in the system. By the way, I feel sorry for you for Final Fantasy 12 X2, but that's also your own fault for even getting Final Fantasy X2. That's all I'm gonna say. But going back to it, I do, PC waiter rate at work, congratulations. They don't even count when it comes to the console war. They don't count when it comes to gaming. All they care about is their MOBA. So stay in your lane and play your MOBA.
Pretty much. But it is what it is. The truth always comes out in the statistics, whether, people want to lie about them or not. The numbers don't lie, and the numbers say 14%. So it is what it is. But what were you about to say something, Morgan? Are you good?
No, I don't say anything.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, we did have one more topic, but I got to run and pick something up anyway. So, and it's a topic that can go to a different time frame, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, thank you for everybody who joined us, especially Thrifty, for giving Omar shit in the chat. I appreciate that. We always love when the crowd joins in, beating Omar's legs in. It gets really awesome in here, and everybody has a lot of fun, except Omar. But yeah.
So shout out to what you call it,
Thrifty.
Dispatch Dev with the rumor season 2.
Oh yeah. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, when
Yeah.
they start it is the key factor, because they're obviously dealing with Critical Role and their stuff, and their current hit animation on Amazon Prime. So I'm pretty sure it'll be about something like that.
59, definitely.
Yeah. I don't want to destroy the name, so I'll let you say that one. But I can never remember the proper naming for it. But yeah, with that, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. It was a lot of fun. Most likely, and this is a surprise to them as well, probably. But yeah, we will probably not have a show next Saturday, because obviously it'll be right after Christmas. Everybody will be pretty much busy. So yeah, that's looking like a straight skip.
I don't promise that if something big happen, we will go live.
Yeah, so
Omar
will go
because
live.
apparently he thinks that we're cancel stuff because of some gaming news. Sir, bye.
If something big happen, I'm going live, whether people
All right,
want to
cool.
or not.
We gonna-
You're more than welcome to.
So Omar
Yep.
says the show must go on. So y'all can look
Precisely.
forward to
Yeah.
Omar.
You've been warned. He's telling you now.
Precisely.
That is a threat. He's telling you he will go live by himself. So with all caution, take what he said and make your own decision of whether you show up. That was a threat that he just gave y'all, that he will go live by himself on here. So his words.
Right. But yeah, so yeah, we definitely won't be here, because like I said, most people will be still spending that weekend with family and everything else.
Actually, I
Um,
have a life. Okay, I see.
yeah. Nieces and nephews to help raise, all the family things. Uh, so yeah. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into our outros and head up out of here. And Merry Christmas to everybody else who joined us. If you celebrate it, or Happy Holidays, or whatever you want to say, because I don't know. I'm not really a stickler for either one. I don't care. It's Merry Christmas over here, though. But Weeb, where can the people find you, sir?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome. Yeah, despite having a terrible cold, which is the reason why I muted so much because I kept on coughing. Oh, yeah. Great show. Yeah, enjoying the Christmas holidays, and yeah, and Omar, enjoy the show on your own next week when something happens.
Hey, you're joining me.
This man said, "Can you join?" Weeb gonna be 3 shots of whiskey deep somewhere. That's where Weeb is gonna be.
Exactly. Exactly.
It don't matter.
Spiked
I was
eggnog,
dying here.
everything.
Spiked eggnog. There you go.
Omar, if you join me, I might consider it.
There you go.
There you
He's,
go. Yeah.
Omar getting white girl wasted. Go,
Yeah,
go,
I,
go.
I, I would I would pay to see that. Um, yeah, and Other Nation.
Outer Nation.
Outer Nation.
Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
Where I'm always going to be
In
on
Wishville?
PSN playing in Bushville, building up my city, hopefully finishing it. I saw somebody say that they beat the game and platinumed it in like 94 hours, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Interesting.
I thought that was crazy. I was like, the super boss must not be like they built like they used to, because
yeah,
people seem to be running through the
Maybe, 'cause-
game.
because I'm like under 100 hours. What? Maybe I'm taking too long. I don't know. But
I'm right there with
yeah.
you. So
if all's said and done, maybe I'll be done by next week, which makes me kind of sad. But anyway, thank you guys for showing up, and hope you guys have a happy holidays next week, even if we we don't talk to you guys.
yeah, and Happy New Year,
we're-
because we'll be back
I was
after
saying
the
Happy
New Year.
New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a new year, 2026, which looks
Yeah.
even more packed with great games. Oh,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be some fun things to talk about. Hopefully nothing else gets delayed. I mean, of course something is bound to get delayed, but I've seen a lot of great things announced for 2026. I'm hoping, at least 90% of what I saw comes to fruition in 2026. But regardless, it's gonna be a great year, some great games to play and talk about. So yeah, let's keep it gaming and Otter Nation.
Outer Nation. And Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
So shout out to everyone that came through. Hit that like button to the stream out. Shout out to Triply for actually attempting to play Final Fantasy X. You can find me at Carbon Corshop on Twitter, but me podcast every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Play your game. Don't be like PC player. Play your game. Shit ton of
Ooh.
amazing games this year alone. Play them.
Agreed. And as always, I am your host, Nate, or known as the Real Nate on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can find me not drinking this holiday, not opening no presents because I bought all my own stuff. But you can find me celebrating with family and having a good time playing these games. And when I'm not doing that, peace and quiet back in my own house because I ain't got no kids. So it's gonna be me and these games.
Real shit.
Yep. They'll eat plenty. All the nieces and nephews on plenty sugar and candy and chocolate, and then leave. And go back and listen to a good audio book and kick back. That's my wine. I don't drink, but that's my wine. That's my relaxation.
And Nate just told you, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. Exactly. Yep. Little expensive suckers. They want everything. They got spoiled this year too, by the way. So don't let all that crap I'll be talking fool you, because it's so many presents under that Christmas tree right now. It's ridiculous. And one of them, I'm surprised we even fit them, because one of them is just for the baby. She 2.5, and her presents are three times taller than her if you stack them flat on top of each other. So yeah, it's ridiculous, and that's just one child. So, and there's lots of kids in Fox's family. So, and then I still gotta grab a gift card here or there for somebody. Some of these people ain't even getting a physical gift card; they get an email with the gift card in it. Like because you know how it is right now. Like I came from Target earlier. Target was a mess, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it looked like the purge out there. Like it was crazy. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, hopefully y'all done with your holiday shopping and all that good stuff, and you guys all have like I said, a real Merry Christmas and all those good things, and Happy New Year, because like I said, it'll be after New Year when we get back. Hopefully we enter 2026 with some better things to talk about overall, because overall it's crazy right now. But gaming wise, it's looking immaculate again. So it looks like gaming is going to have to get us through another crazy year. But yeah, shout out to Kay. I know she's going to get to pick up her baby soon for Christmas. So she'll be excited about that. And yeah, we can get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Nation.
Otter Nation.